evening and welcome to July 7th, 1941. My name is Henry Chop, your host, and we reconstruct radio schedules on this channel, and we are exactly 5 months before Pearl Harbor, before the attack on Pearl Harbor. Tonight we are going to listen to the adventures of Superman the Lone Ranger, the Chamber Music Society of Lower Basin Street, the Lux Radio Theater, and the Cavalcade of America, and I will tell you about all of these programs in just a little bit. If you enjoy the content of this channel, not only subscribe, but please donate to its upkeep. Because of the vintage radio, music, and films that we share, this channel does not qualify for YouTube monetization. Help motivate us to consistently post this wonderful content. We like to think that this channel is more interesting and entertaining than any other World War II channel on YouTube. Help us keep going by donating. In the expanded description section to this video, you will find two links for which to donate. One is for PayPal and the other is for a GoFundMe. If the GoFundMe link is outdated on this video, go to this channel's description or our latest video where you will find an updated link. Any little bit helps. If you love old-time radio, film, and music, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications as to when a new upload will premiere. If you are interested in World War II as much as I am, check out our other channel, the World War II newspaper channel. Expand the description section to this video and you will see a link that will take you there. Now I'd suggest listening to the latest upload to decide if it's your thing. Over there, you will hear the Chicago Tribune read to you for between 90 minutes to 2 hours. You will get a much more detailed look about what it was like to actually live through World War II than I can give you just by sharing radio broadcasts. You will not only hear detailed news of the big battles and historical events, you will hear trivial facts about the war. You will hear news from the United States home front from the early stages of U.S. mobilization and war protests to Pearl Harbor and the ramping up of the war machine to the final victories and reconversion. You will hear every facet of American life change forever. Well, tonight we have a pretty much typical Monday night. We are going to start things off with the syndicated program, The Adventures of Superman, a children's adventure program, a serial, so you'll get the next chapter on Wednesday night. And then following that, we have The Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger aired at 7:30 in the evening over Mutual, and this episode is titled An Alibi Crack. And then at 8 o'clock, we have the Chamber Music Society of Lower Basin Street, and this aired over NBC Blue. And then at 8 o'clock, if you didn't want to listen to Chamber Music Society, you can listen to the Lux Radio Theater and their production of Algiers, starring Charles Boyer and Hedy LaMarr. If you remember last week, at the end of the Lux Radio Theater, when Cecil B. DeMille announced that they were going to have Algiers with Charles Boyer and Hedy LaMarr, the audience swooned. Particularly the ladies in the audience swooned. Take me back to the Casbah. You're going to enjoy this Lux Radio Theater version of the movie. It is a really, really good story. And it's kind of neat because there was a lot of fighting going on in North Africa at this time, so it's kind of a fitting story. And then following the Lux Radio Theater at 9:30 in the evening in Chicago, we have the Cavalcade of America and the Mystery of the Spotted Death, and that aired over NBC Red. Some great radio entertainment for a summer night. Let's turn on this old tube radio, that's our time machine, and give this stuff a listen.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman!
Look! Up in the sky!
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman! Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. As you remember, Jimmy Olsen and Nancy Harmon, missing from the Bartlett logging camp for hours, were found in a cabin deep in the woods, both of them unconscious from a sleeping potion. Father Malone, a strapping Northwoods priest, summoned from the nearest town because of his widespread fame as a minister to the body as well as the soul, has decided that neither Jimmy nor Nancy will suffer any ill effects after the potion has worn off. But in the meantime, while Kent and Father Malone are talking in the camp office, a fire breaks out in one of the loggers' cabins. A roaring inferno in which a helpless man is trapped.
Are you sure there's someone in that cabin?
Yes, Kirk Travers.
Kirk Travers?
He can't get out.
They'll never quench that fire with water, Kent.
I'm afraid not, Father. It's too far gone. Hey, what are you doing?
Taking off my coat. I'm going in for that man.
No, you're not.
I can't leave him in there to die like a caged animal.
Father,
Let go of me, Kent.
You'll never get through that wall of flame, Father Malone. Now, it's you it.
But
Listen to me. You stay here. If the fire shifts, you may be able to get to him through that window. I'll go around to the other side. We'll get him out if it's humanly possible.
All right, Kent. Good luck for you.
Well, it's not humanly possible, but it is possible for Superman. There's only one difficulty. I can't afford to have anyone see me. No time to worry about that now. I'll have to chance it. Now, this is where the door must be. All right, here goes. There, I'm inside. I don't think I was seen. Now to find Travers and haul him out. Great Scott, this fire hasn't missed an inch of the cabin. It's burning like all fury. Travers! Travers! Oh, there he is. Doubled up in a corner with the flames playing all around him. His clothes are on fire. Beat these flames out with my hands. There. Hope I'm not too late. Poor fellow's horribly burned. Well, out we go, right through the thick of it. That does it. I came through there so fast I don't think the flames got to him again. Now to assume Clark Kent's role. Father Malone!
What is it, Kent? Oh, thank heavens you got him out.
Yes, the door collapsed, and there he was. But he's badly burned. We'd better get him to Mr. Harmon's cabin.
Can I help you?
No, I'll carry him. You lead the way.
Let me have that ointment, Dawson.
This?
Yes. Is that saline solution ready, Kent?
I have it right here.
Completely dissolved.
Yes,
You know how to fill a hypodermic syringe?
I think so.
You'll find one in my bag, wrapped in sterile gauze. Fill it with the salt solution, but hurry.
All right.
How does it look, Father?
Not too good, Bill. Most of his burns are third degree, and they're bad. Ready with that hypo, Kent?
In a minute. Here it is.
Good. Now, turn his left arm around. Palm up.
I'm up, yeah.
Careful. That's it. Now, hold it steady.
I got it.
There. Now, fill the hypo again, Kent.
All right.
How did the fire start, Bill?
Nobody knows. When I left here, I walked over to my cabin. The minute I got inside, I heard someone yell.
It couldn't have flared up like that in less than a minute.
Hypo's ready, Father Malone.
Thank you. Now, hold his arm gently.
All right.
It's enough for the time being, anyhow. Now, all we can do is hope and pray. I've done everything I can, spiritually and physically. Cover him up with that blanket.
All right, Father. There we are. There. Now, I'm going out to look at what's left of the cabin. I'll be right back.
We'll come with you, Ken.
Oh, all right.
You say you didn't see any fire when you passed Travers' cabin on the way to your own, Bill?
No, I didn't.
That's impossible.
I told you I didn't see no fire, Kent.
And I tell you it's impossible.
Why, you dirty...
Cut it out, both of you.
He can't call me no liar and get away with it. I'll bust him in two. Put your hands up, Kent. You're going to get the thrashing of your life.
I'm ready.
I'll whip the terror out of both of you unless you stop this nonsense. And don't think I can't do it.
No man calls me a liar. I don't care who he is.
If that's the worst you ever called, Dawson, you're lucky. Now, come on, and don't try anything, either of you. Now, let's fly with the right course that won me a boxing championship at college. Come on.
I ain't through with him yet. Not by a long shot.
Well, here's what's left of the cabin. Nothing but a few pieces of charred pine and an iron cot.
Yeah, that fire must have been burning for a good 10 minutes before we heard the logger shout.
I tell you, it wasn't burning when I went by.
Now, hold your temper, Bill. I'm inclined to agree with Kent. He couldn't possibly have gotten that far and done so much damage.
Wait a minute. Smell this piece of wood, Father.
Kent. It smells like kerosene.
That's what it is. I may have to apologize, Dawson. If the cabin was saturated with kerosene, it might very well have gone up in less than a minute.
I didn't see no fire.
This piece of wood has kerosene on it, too. That's what happened, Father. Someone spilled kerosene around the cabin and then touched a match to it.
Well, that hardly sounds possible, Kent. Dawson, was Travers alone in the cabin?
Yeah. Preston used to bunk with him, but he was the one who disappeared and then came back to die before he could talk. Travers was afraid he was going to be next. He said so, and Sam Green went. He and Sam worked on the last tree we felled this morning.
Now, don't talk nonsense, Bill. This isn't any ridiculous legend. This is cold-blooded murder. We'd better get the sheriff. He should have been called in a long time ago. Send one of your men to town, Bill.
Wait a minute. Someone's coming over.
Mr. Dawson,
What is it, Charlie?
the men are all set to hike into Mobile. They say they ain't spending another night here. Thought I'd better tell you.
Wait. Let me talk to them. Where are they, Charlie?
Won't do no good, Father. Hank and Chris swear they saw a guy with wings go into the burning cabin after Kurt Travers. They don't want no part of this camp.
A man with wings. Why, they're out of their minds.
I think I can handle them. You and Dawson go back to the office, Kent, and keep an eye on Travers. All right, Charlie. Now take me over to the men.
I'm sorry I went overboard, Dawson. You won't hold it against me, will you?
Forget it.
Thanks. Well, come on. What do you make of this now, Dawson?
It don't make sense. I'm beginning to feel like the men. White plague or no white plague, I want to get out. I don't like it. Hank Bechet and Chris Dunham say they saw a man with wings going after Travers. They're no blind fools. Kent, they saw something.
They probably saw me pulling Travers out of the doorway.
Well, maybe.
Oh, Mr. Harmon's up. Hello.
Kent, what happened? Why is Kurt Travers lying there?
One of the cabins caught fire and burned down. Travers was trapped inside.
Dawson, is that true?
Yes. Didn't you hear nothing?
Not a sound. I woke up suddenly and walked out here and saw Travers stretched out on the couch, white as a ghost. Is he...
Father Malone tried to save him. We can't be sure yet. Right now, he looks... Dawson. He passed away.
How do you know?
No pulse, no respiration. He's gone.
This is ghastly. When will it stop?
What's that puddle near the couch?
Snow melting off Mr. Harmon's shoes. Want me to get Father Malone, Kent?
Oh, it's too late now. Draw the blanket up.
That makes 5, don't it?
Yeah.
5 men murdered.
No. Not murdered. No, it can't be.
I'm afraid that's what it is, Mr. Harmon.
Dawson, did you wire Mr. Bartlett? Did you tell him we were closing up?
Haven't had a chance.
Haven't had it.
It don't matter. The men are quitting, all of them.
I don't blame them. I'm going myself. This is too much. Where's Nancy?
She and Jimmy are still sleeping off the effects of the drug. I'll look in on them.
You don't blame me, Bill, do you? You don't blame me for closing the camp?
No, I don't blame you. I've had enough of it myself. That cabin going up in flames was the last straw.
How did it start?
Kerosene.
You mean?
Someone poured kerosene all over it. Someone who wanted to get rid of Kurt Travers.
Jimmy and Nancy are all right.
Where's Father Malone?
Talking to your men, trying to convince them to stay.
No, I don't want him to. Let them go.
Why, Mr. Harmon?
I can't keep them here any longer. Their lives are in danger. Let them go. We've all got to get out. As soon as possible.
Oh, here's Father Malone now.
Well, the men agreed to stay. What's the matter, Kent? Oh, Mr. Harmon's up.
Travers is dead, Father.
No. At least he felt no pain. For that, we give thanks.
Father Malone, I don't want the men to remain in camp. I'm closing it up.
You can't do that, Mr. Harmon. I won't permit it.
What do you mean?
I won't let these men become the victims of stupid, senseless fear. If they leave, it must be with a conviction that human hands wreaked this havoc, that a twisted human brain created this madness. And further, whoever has been responsible for this must be brought to justice.
Well, I've had enough, I tell you. I can't stand any more of it.
Kent, watch him.
Easy there, Mr. Harmon. Here, take my hand. You better sit down.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
That's all right. We understand. Kent, you and Dawson carry poor Travers into one of the back rooms.
All right, Father.
I've asked all the men to come here. We're going to get to the bottom of this before dawn.
All right, Kent. Take a seat. Easy.
You must get a grip on yourself, Mr. Harmon. You can't show the men that you've been affected.
All right, I'll try. I'll do my best.
That's the way to talk.
Father Malone.
Yes, Kent?
I don't think it will be necessary to have the men here.
Well, why not? It's the only way to question everyone at once.
I don't think you'll have to question anyone.
Well, what do you mean?
I know who killed those 5 loggers. I know who set fire to the cabin. I know who's responsible for everything that's happened. And I can prove it.
Well, Clark Kent certainly seems sure of himself, doesn't he? Do you know who used the legend of the White Plague to cast an evil spell of mystery over the Bartlett logging camp? Then tune in on the next episode of Superman for a startling solution.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
The bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Stay tuned next for The Lone Ranger.
Fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. Indian companion Tonto, the masked rider of the plains led the fight for justice in the early western United States. No one could match his strength and courage, his daring and resourcefulness. He broke the power of the outlaw bands that roamed the new territory and finally brought peace and security to the lawless frontier. Return with us now to those thrilling days when the West was young. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Silver! We're on the trail of Parker gang. Tunnel's waiting on the trail ahead. Hi-yo, Silver! Hi!
When the sheriff reached his office early in the morning, he found a crowd of people waiting for him.
What are all you people here for?
There's the sheriff.
Sheriff? Last night it was the bank. Don't tell me there's been another robbery around here.
Yeah, they got a plenty of cash. The banker's boiling mad.
Same crooks that have done the other robberies.
No clues at all.
Where's Deputy Brady?
Here, Sheriff.
Come inside my office. Rest of you keep out.
Sheriff, I'll watch the Parker ranch all night long. I just now come from there.
Well, go on. Parker left the ranch, didn't he? He took them 3 hired hands of his with him?
No.
Don't tell me that. Doggone it, Brady, Parker is the thief.
Sheriff, he couldn't be the thief. I didn't take my eyes off his house all night long, and no one left there.
Well, it don't make sense. I had Hank watching his house that night the post office was broke into and robbed. When Hank said Parker hadn't left the house, I thought maybe Hank was lying. But you tell
I'm
me...
giving you the truth, Sheriff. It can't be Sam Parks that's the thief.
It is. I know it is by the smirking way he looks at me when I question him. He knows I know he's guilty, and he's just defying me to prove it. Now, come on, we're going to see him.
Sheriff.
Mask, you.
Take it easy. I'll go for a gun.
Who unlocked that back door?
I want to talk to you, Sheriff. You're having a lot of robberies around here.
I know.
Did you know that Sam Parker and 2 of the 3 men who worked for him worked a thieves' game in Colorado?
I know Parker's the thief, but who are you?
I want to help you.
I ain't time for mash men. I'm leaving here on business, mister, and if you take a shot at me, you won't get out of town alive. Now, come on, Brady. We're calling on Sam Parker.
He's coming to ask more questions, boys, same as the other time.
We know what to do, Sam.
See that you do it, Butch.
Look, Sheriff has fetched Brady and another deputy along with him.
Wait till he rain up before the house, and I'll open the door and welcome him. Remember what we seen last night, boys?
Yeah.
Well, good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Sam.
Come on in. I saw you riding up the trail.
Wait there for me, boys. Right here. I got a few questions I want to ask you, Sam.
Sure thing. Sit down there, won't you? Oh, you know my men, Butch there, and Lem and Hank.
Yep, I know 'em.
What's on your mind?
Just wondering where you was last night, Sam.
Here, same as usual.
All evening?
Sure, all evening.
From when till when?
Oh, shucks. We finished chores at sundown, then had our grub and sat around playing cards till we turned in around 10 o'clock.
Butch, you left your knife near the bank last night.
Couldn't have been me, Sheriff. I wasn't near the bank. I ain't been in town for 2 weeks.
That's curious. Your knife was found.
Well, it must be a mistake, Sheriff. My knife's right here. Yeah, see? I ain't lost no knife.
What you driving at, Sheriff?
Heard about the robbery, ain't you?
No.
A bank was robbed last night.
You don't say. Now, ain't that terrible? By Ginger, there must be a right bad pack of thieves around here. Lots of robberies going on of late, ain't there?
You sure you don't know more about it than I do, Sam?
Well, now, why should I?
How's things here at your ranch? You making money here?
Always have. Reckon I'll keep doing so.
You must pay your men more in most ranches. Give them special privileges, too, don't you?
I pay good. Oh, if it's the clothes the boys have been wearing when they went to town, Sheriff, you might ask a couple of them where they got the cash. Butch will tell you.
The boss made a deal for some mining land he owned. He sold it and whacked the cash up with it.
I keep my men loyal that way, you see, Sheriff.
You got any more mining land to sell?
I reckon so.
Be another divvy of cash real soon then, huh?
Maybe.
About $2,500 to whack up, ain't that it?
Maybe.
Just the amount that was stole from the bank.
Now, ain't that a coincidence? Look, Sheriff, if you think we're all organized into a gang and sticking up banks and things, why don't you take us to jail?
You know why I don't, Sam.
Sure I do. Because we ain't guilty.
That ain't why. Matter of fact, I think you are guilty. I think you critters are as guilty as sin. But you all stick together and swear that you was here on the ranch, and each of you has an alibi.
You got it all figured out, ain't you, Sheriff?
Where is this mining land of yours?
Over near Durango, a long ways from here. Someday, if you like, we'll set out and take a trip there. I'd like for you to see my claims. Take about a month to ride there and back.
No use my going there. You'd have it fixed so I'd really think you'd been telling me the truth.
What's wrong with that?
I don't want to think that. Because I know doggone well you critters are thieves.
Sheriff, I'm getting a little annoyed at being questioned all the time like this. Every time there's a robbery, you come here accusing me. Now, by thunder, either you arrest me and make your charges stick, or you leave me be.
I'll arrest you, Sam. And when I do, I'll make the charges stick.
I'm fed up with your attitude. Who you got with you out there?
Frank Hawks and Jim Brady.
Brady? Good. Brady.
Yeah?
Come here a second.
What is it? Sheriff want me?
You were watching this house last night.
Huh? How did...
Did you tell him, Sheriff?
No.
He didn't need to tell me. We seen you standing guard. The sheriff had a man watching this house ever since he first started thinking I was thieving. You was on the job last night. Ain't that so?
Well...
Ain't it, Sheriff?
All right, he was. I admit I had men watching this place of yours.
Then why in Punket do you keep pestering me? You know none of us left here. Now get out and leave us be.
You're working it some way, Sam. Blast it all, I know you're crooked.
And I know my right. Now don't come here
Next time I come to Sam Parker, I'll have proof. I promise you that.
Hey, ain't that Dolly March riding here?
Yeah, so 'tis.
Sheriff, Dolly March is riding down here like she's needing help.
Huh? Doggone, she sure looks excited.
The sheriff in Parker's house?
Yeah.
Miss Dolly, what's the trouble? You looking for me?
Yeah. Sheriff, I was wanting you.
Well, is there something wrong at the express office? Don't tell me that's been robbed, too.
No, it hasn't been robbed yet, but Paul's real worried on account of having so much gold on hand.
Now, wait, Miss Dolly.
Oh, I know you wanted him to keep it secret, but it's known now that he has all that gold. Lamb was trying to find out about where he kept it hid.
Miss Dolly, you'd better come with
But
me.
I've got to tell you.
Don't mind us, Miss Dolly. The sheriff was finished with his business here.
All right, Mr. Parker. Sheriff, you know how Paul's been holding off the delivery of that gold until the thieves around here were caught.
Doggone it, Dolly. Save telling
Now
it.
he's afraid to hold off any longer. He's afraid the thieves will steal it from him. There was a masked man hanging around.
Come this way.
Yes, but
we
I
can
can't
talk
tell.
while we travel. Come on.
Drop in again, Sheriff, when you got something important.
I sure will, Sam.
You sure handled him neat, Sam.
As long as the law's like him, we'll have nothing to worry about, boys.
You heard what was said about March having a lot of gold in the express office.
I heard it.
And there being a masked man hanging around.
I didn't miss that, Butch.
Gave me a few ideas.
Maybe so.
Now, Sheriff Doyle is going to be right glad if he can only arrest someone for all the robberies. Why wouldn't it be a good idea to let him arrest someone?
Not us.
No, not us. Of course not. But if Dolly March and her pa have seen a masked man hanging around,
thinking.
I don't know why...
Shut up. Sit down there and be quiet. I got a lot of thinking I want to do. Maybe I'll go into town and have a talk with March at the express office. I might be able to give him some good advice.
Expect to see you calling here, Parker.
Mr. Parker heard part of what I told the sheriff, Paul. I found the sheriff at the Parker Ranch.
Oh, I see.
I don't like to bust into things that are none of my business, March, but I understand you've seen a crook around town here.
I can't call him a crook.
Well...
You wore a mask, though.
Yeah. Now, Sheriff Doyle has been having an idea for a long time that I got something to do with the robberies around here.
I've heard talk, Parker.
Shucks, just because I seem to have more cash than I earn with my ranch and because I pay my boys well... The old fool thinks I'm stealing.
Yeah.
Now, between you and me, March, the job is too big for Doyle. The point is, though, I'd like to be rid of his pestering me.
Go on, Parker.
I thought maybe if there was something I could do to help prove that this masked stranger is the thief, it'd straighten the sheriff out as far as I'm concerned.
I reckon it would if you could prove someone else guilty of the thieving.
Well, why don't you tell me all you can about this masked hombre? And then I'll have my boys on the watch for him.
Well, I don't know if there's much...
Oh, look.
Huh?
Up there. Isn't that his horse?
Doggone, that's what it is, Dolly. There, Parker. See that white stallion? That's the horse the masked man rode. He must be close by somewhere.
Oh, he must be. I'll go out and have a look at the animal. Doggone fine horse. Hi there. Take it easy, horse. I don't aim to hurt you. There now.
Looking at my horse?
Oh, masked. Who are you?
Stranger around here. Just passing through.
You must be hiding from the law, huh? Now, I ain't a lawman, so you needn't be a fear to me.
That gave you the idea I was afraid of you.
Figuring on staying near here?
Why do you want to know?
Well, you needn't get sore about a simple question, stranger. I run a sizable ranch not far from here, and I thought you was looking for work.
I'm not looking for work.
It's the Parker Ranch, about 8 miles out on the trail east.
Come on, Silver.
You didn't get far talking to him, Parker.
No, but I bet he's after the gold you got here.
Drat it all. I didn't want it to get out that I had much gold here. I figured it'd be all right to keep it here, at least while I had it hid. I wasn't going to send it east till I figured it'd be safe. Now, hang it all, it ain't safe to send it, and it ain't safe to keep it. Reckon I'll have to put her on the next stage out.
Well, that'd be best. Get rid of it as soon as you can. It's too big a responsibility for you to keep it here. Who's it belong to?
It's from west of here, to be shipped east.
Well, you take my advice, March. Get it on that stage tomorrow.
Later in the day, when Sam Parker returned to his ranch, he called his men together and...
This biggest and best job we ever pulled is lined up and ready to do, boys. I got it all worked out.
Sam, don't you think it'd be a good idea if we kept quiet for a time?
It would be a good idea, Butch. But it's a better idea to take things as they come. We won't have a chance like this very often. Everything is in our favor.
What's it about?
March has a lot of gold in the express office.
Yes?
He's kept it secret, fearing to send it out until the gang of robbers was caught.
Oh.
I talked him into putting it on the stage tomorrow, which means that tonight will be a good time for us to get it. Best of all, there's a suspicious man around town who will be blamed for it.
The sheriff would leave us alone if he had someone else to blame for all that's happened.
That's the whole point. March knows about this stranger. He wears a mask and rides a white horse.
Yeah, so he'll be blamed, eh?
If the sheriff gets him, he'll have a time trying to prove he ain't guilty. If the sheriff don't ever find him, then at least he'll have someone else to think about besides us.
What about our alibi?
The same as usual. We're all here for the whole night. We'll see to it that the sheriff knows we're here. I've got to see him around sundown. I'll fetch him and a posse back here, asking him to keep his eye on us. I'll insist that he does, for our own protection.
Protection?
Sure. I'll just tell him this masked man is likely the thief and may rob the express office. You leave it to me. I just rode out here to the ranch to get you boys lined up. I'm riding back now to get the sheriff lined up.
It's something when we get the sheriff to help us, ain't it?
I reckon it is, Butch. Get everything set, boys, and I'll get back to town and see the sheriff. Wouldn't he be surprised if he knew how we can be in two places at the same time?
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. To continue our story. When Sam Parker had given all the necessary orders to his men, he was ready for the second step in his plan to rob the express office. It was just at sundown that he met the sheriff in town.
Sheriff, I've been thinking about the gold March told about in the express office.
I reckon you have, Parker. You'd like to get your hands on it, wouldn't you?
I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't make them remarks, Sheriff. I'm no thief.
Not proved.
All right, that's why I'm here. March is planning to ship that gold tomorrow by stage.
That stage will be guarded, too. Come on out, Sam, and bring your men. Make a play to rob that gold, will you?
You think I'm crazy?
Just try it.
I think you ought to keep a guard on the express office tonight.
Yeah?
You may have heard about the masked man.
Well, maybe I have. What about it?
If he was to rob that gold, you'd still blame me for it.
Maybe I wouldn't be so far wrong.
Well, whether you put a guard at the express office or not, will you do one thing?
What's that?
Have a lot of your men around my house tonight.
Why?
I want you to be convinced once and for all that I ain't guilty of robbing things in town here. If that masked man steals the gold tonight and you ain't dead sure I wasn't out of the house, you'll be charging me with that as well as with everything else.
Parker, you needn't worry. There'll be plenty of men watching your house tonight.
I'll appreciate it, Sheriff. Thanks. Steady, boy. Get up there. Get up.
Blurry crook. I know he's a crook. If only I could prove it.
Sheriff.
Huh? Oh, hello, Injun.
You come with Tonto, huh?
I'm ready. Where's that masked friend of yours?
Him inside express office. Him wait there. That case all fixed up.
Good.
Did Parker speak to you, Sheriff?
He did. He sure wants me to think you're going to steal the gold, mister.
Very well.
Can't Paul stay out of the plan you're working?
Of course he can, Miss Dolly, but I think he'd sooner be there.
If anything happened to Paul, I hate to think of him going out with a posse to maybe shoot it out with the Parker gang.
I don't think there will be any shooting.
These the cases that are fixed up?
Yes. March is going to have them stacked in his office.
Do they look like the cases that gold might be shipped in?
Sure enough, Miss Dolly. I bet Park and his gang will be one surprise bunch when they see what the Lone Ranger's worked out for them.
That night, the sheriff and his men, under cover of darkness, rode out to the Parker spread. They left their horses half a mile from the ranch house and then continued on foot until they were less than 100 yards away.
Wait right there, boys.
I can see Parker inside the house there.
Yep, he's still there. What about the rest of the men?
There's one of them at the back door near the shed.
Looks like we wasn't planning anything in particular.
How'd it be to surround the place?
Wait, I'm going to keep together here till the Lone Ranger sends word.
Where's he?
I don't know. Did he tell you what his scheme was, March?
Not a word.
I wonder if that masked man's really the Lone Ranger.
Why do you wonder?
It's his idea that we all come here. It sure leaves the town unguarded.
But what's there to steal in town?
I don't know. It might be that I've been wrong about Sam Parker all this time.
You ain't wrong. He's a crook all right enough.
Well, we'll play the hand out and see.
It's just the way the ranch looked the last time I was here watching. I seen all the men around.
He was in town robbing the bank.
Well, that's what sure puzzles me. There can't be two places at the same time.
Aye. Who's that?
That's the engine friend of the Lone Ranger.
Oh. That you, Tonto?
Here. You all ready, Sheriff?
Yep.
Got deputy?
They're right here with me. 5 good men.
Not good.
What are we to do?
Wait here.
For how long?
By and by, time to get signal. Then we go. There's Butch stepping out of the front of the house, looking up to see if it's raining or something.
Yeah, I see him.
The light from the house shows him real clear. Well, now he's going back inside again. Well, we know that bunch ain't in town yet.
Yeah, and we know they can't leave the house without us seeing them. Now watch sharp while we wait to hear from the Lone Ranger.
At midnight, Sam. Can't tell if the sheriff has men watching us or not.
He has.
You know that for a fact?
I know he won't miss a chance to try and catch us leaving the house. Only he can't do it.
How soon we starting after that gold, Sam?
Oh, wait till around 10 o'clock. Then we'll make out we're going to bed. Now, let's see if we got everything all set. What about the horses, Butch?
I left them near the rock. They'll be ready.
You got one white one there?
I got a Palomino. It'll look white enough at night.
And you, Lefty?
Yeah.
You're the biggest of us. You've got to wear that mask and ride the Palomino. Then let March and his daughter or someone else in town get a quick glimpse at you.
I got it all worked out, Sam.
Good enough. Now, all you fellas move around some and be sure to pass the windows once in a while so the lawmen can see you. We'll make out to go to bed around 10. Then we'll start out.
The lawmen saw the lights in the house turned out as the men apparently settled themselves for the night. In reality, Sam Parker opened a trap door in the floor of the house and descended to a cellar with his men following.
Now we can strike a light. Get the lantern going, Butch. Lefty, you close that trap door before you come down the ladder.
Yeah.
Come on down now, Lefty.
All set, Sam.
You go ahead with the lamp, Butch. You know your way through the tunnel.
Yeah. Shall we lock this door into the tunnel?
No.
Do you think there's a chance the sheriff might find our tunnel someday?
No, I don't think so. The entrance is well hid. No one to note was there unless they went right into the middle of all that underbrush.
If the sheriff ever did find
Then
it...
we'd have to get the sheriff out and away. And when folks give up hunting for him, get a new sheriff elected.
Seems odd to me that he ain't never figured out that we might have some way of getting out of the house without him seeing us.
He don't think that far. If he did, he wouldn't figure there'd be a tunnel this long. Must have been an underground river or something here sometime in the past.
Yeah, I reckon so.
The closer the sheriff gets to the house and watching it, the further he gets from where the tunnel opens at.
He'll be good and close to the house tonight. We can be sure of that.
I can see the underbrush ahead. We're near the opening now.
Here we are.
What sound our horses make when we leave will be covered by the cattle over yonder.
Sure. Look back toward the house. You see that big rock? That's likely where the lawmen are waiting. After tonight, the sheriff should be doggone sure we ain't guilty of nothing.
The men rode into town. While 3 of them, including Sam Parker, made their way to the express office, Lefty headed for the home of the manager. He entered boldly, gun in hand.
All right, March, come up with your hands up.
What? Who are you?
There we are. Where's your father?
He isn't here.
Is he at the office?
No. What do you want?
I want the key to the express office. Where is it?
Your mask.
What of it? Where's that key?
I don't know how the key. Father has it.
Oh, he has it, eh? Where is he?
He's with the sheriff. Who are you?
You wouldn't know who I was. If you don't have any key, then I'll have to bust the door down. But I'm roping you.
No, you can't.
Shut up. I don't need to be interrupted, miss. There, that'll hold you. Now a gag. It won't hurt if you don't fight it. Just tell your pop that there's no use trying to find me. I'll be a long ways off by morning. There. Good evening, miss. Get up there.
Good work, Miss Dolly. I'll have that rope off in just a minute. There's the gag.
Oh, what a frightful man.
There you are.
And he had a light horse just like yours.
Yes, and he left the door open so you'd be sure and see it.
Is Paul all right?
Of course he is. Before this night is over, we'll have full confessions from every one of that gang.
How did you know about the tunnel they had?
Paolo knows this part of the country very well. He knew about that old tunnel when he was a boy. It was long before this country was settled. Now I've got to go. Don't worry, Miss Dolly.
You located the box of the gold, Sam?
The boys are fetching them out right now. They're nailed up real tight. Have to take them to the ranch and open them there. How'd you make out, Lefty?
Fine. I let the girl see a mask and a light horse. To tell a story that put us in the clear and put all the blame on the masked man.
The last of the boxes is being loaded now, Sam. We can start back.
Good. Let's get going then. I wonder if March will figure one man couldn't carry all the gold.
He'll figure the masked man had a couple of pack mules or something. It don't matter how he figures. He can't prove a thing on us, Sam.
Come on, back to the house.
Get up.
When Parker and his men arrived at the ranch, the gold was unloaded and carried into the tunnel. At last, the cellar of the house was reached, and Sam himself went up the ladder and pressed against the trap door.
Door's stuck or something.
Push harder, Sam.
I'm pushing all I can, won't budge.
Here, let me give you a hand.
Yeah.
Crowd over so we can both stand here on the ladder.
Now, together. Seems like it's locked.
It can't be. There wasn't nobody in the house.
Doggone it all. You'll have to find another way of getting to the house.
What?
What's the matter?
I thought I heard someone coming.
In the tunnel?
Yeah.
You there? There's the masked man.
You. How'd you know about this?
I followed you from town. You're covered. Don't move.
You followed us.
You were here alone?
I untied Dolly Marsh as soon as you left that house. I was in the house the time you were. But the girl knows the truth.
It's your word against ours, mister. The sheriff won't have much confidence in the word of the masked man. You see, we won't go to jail. You will. We'll tell a story that'll send you there. Now, if you'd like to join up with us...
You suggested something like that before.
How'd you know about the tunnel?
I told you I followed you from town.
I can use you, stranger. I can make you rich.
Not where you're going.
Why? You think a respectable man like me will go to jail on the strength of what you have to tell?
You'll go to jail on the strength of what you tell. See those boxes you stole from the express office?
Well, what about them?
They don't hold gold. They're wetted with lead and filled with hornets.
What?
The sheriff is waiting in your house above the trap door. His men in march are there with him. I'm barring the door to the tunnel. You'll get out of the cellar when you confess everything to the sheriff. In the meantime, let's see you fight the hornets. I'll let them out.
Stop, wait.
There's 3 boxes open. Let's open some more. There's the rest of them.
No! Get him out of here!
Adios.
Try that door he went out of. We gotta get out.
There's millions of them! Get us out of here! I'm stuck in 100 places!
They're having a right fancy time down below there. Open the trap door a little. How about it, Sam? Do you confess the express robbery?
Yes. Let us out of here. We done it.
The bank robbery?
Yes. The money's down the cellar here. We give it all back. Let us out. We're being hit up by the hornets.
Sam Jurgens' robbery?
We done it all, Sheriff.
All right, come up then.
Them hornets. That masked man.
Keep the hornets down below. Don't let them out into the house.
You won't be in the house for a minute. You'll be in the jail.
You're all covered, so don't try anything. Keep them hornets down below. There must be a million of them.
Don't get excited. There wasn't many of them. Only a few in a couple of the boxes. Just enough so you'd hear a little buzzing. And so the Lone Ranger would be speaking the truth.
There wasn't a lot of them.
Reckon the Lone Ranger figured that your imagination would make up for most of the hornets. Now start marching. You're going to jail.
have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger, Incorporated.
Stay tuned next for the Chamber Music Society of Lower Basin Street.
Dixieland Philharmonic of 8 men, 4 Jukes and 4 Cavalcades, and Maestro Paul Laval, who graduated from the Juilliard, but who took his postgraduate work in the Bronx Brooklyn subway. As vocalist, Mademoiselle Diane Courtney, and as intermission speaker, a surprise Good Neighbor feature, about which more later. As special guests, we are honored by the presence of John Kirby and his entire band, who are to play for us, provided that by the time they are ready to go on, we can rake up enough money to pay them all. But the house lights are dimming. There seems to be a slight argument as to which of our 2 conductors is to have the honor of opening the concert. Maestro Laval wins, with an argument which lands on the good doctor's nose. Our overture, Maestro Laval's woodwind version of Flyin' Home. It is now our pleasure to welcome our brilliant young coloratura, Mademoiselle Diane Courtney, who walks onto the concert stage under an archway of crossed lyres from Dr. Levine's musicians. As you all know, the term coloratura is a very recent vintage, the term formerly in use having been figurato. Of course, only the briefest glance is necessary to tell you that Mademoiselle Courtney has a wonderful figurato. In fact, Dr. Levine's men say she has a figurato that makes them want to stop playing and whistle. Mademoiselle Courtney now sings a ballad called Comin' Through the Rye, a title which in itself is a misnomer, as the song is 90 proof Scotch. Comin' Through the Rye.
If a body meet a body coming through the rye, If a body kiss a body, need a body cry. Every lassie has her laddie, main they say have I. Yet all the lads, they smile at me when coming through the rye. In this band there is a man I love, oh so well. What he plays or what's his name, I didn't choose to tell.
Me?
Nay, nay, nay.
Is it me?
Nay, nay.
It must be me.
I won't tell. Still, I'm the lassie, has her laddie coming through the rye. Yet all the lads still smile at me, coming through the rye. I still wink my eye, coming through the rye.
As we warned you in the beginning, we might find it extremely difficult on our sustaining budget to pay all the members of the Kirby Band. So there is some doubt about whether... Oh, pardon me. Here is our vice president in charge of vice presidents.
It's all right, Dr. Hamilton. We hawked the studio elevator.
Oh, thanks. Here, this is for you.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Hamilton. Gee, a whole Confederate nickel.
Oh, think nothing of it, my good man. The members of John Kirby's band are Dr. Kirby himself on string bass and Professors Charlie Shavers, trumpet, Billy Kyle, piano, Russ Prokop, saxophone, O'Neill Spencer, drums, and Buster Bailey, clarinet. Altogether, they give out now with a work written in what Dr. Kirby describes as worried swing with a slipping two-way stretch. Here is Bugler's Dilemma. Thank you, Dr. Kirby, until later in our concert. Both of Dr. Henry Hotlips Levine's selections tonight will be played in tribute to Dr. Franklin Delebe Marks, our talented arranger, who is also a composer in his own right. Right now, we're to hear the first performance anywhere of Dr. Mark's Permutation Blues, a work which derives its name from the Schillinger method of changing rhythm called permutation. That is, a rhythm figuration which occurs one beat behind itself in each successive measure. For instance, we will now repeat the same sentence 4 different ways to illustrate Dr. Mark's rhythm, like so. Is he from hunger? Then, from hunger, is he? Next, hunger, is he from? And finally, from hunger, he is. This changing pattern of rhythm is now illustrated musically by the Dixieland Octet of Dr. Henry from Levine, the world's premiere of Permutation Blues. Tonight, we have the pleasure, more or less, of having with us a man who has lived to see his dream come true. He is a great scholar, a musician, and a critic whose fame has rung around the world with a rather harsh, grating sound. As our special Good Neighbor feature, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Senor...
Si.
Ah, yes, of course. Senor C.C.
No, Senor Hamilton.
Pardon me, Senor No.
No, that is not my name.
I'm sorry, old chap. I never could remember names. What's yours? Again?
Again? No, it is the same as before. My name, she is Senor Don Pablo Francisco Antonio Jose Pedro Manuel Fernando Diego de Rodeo Sombrero Vaca y Toro.
I have no doubt that's quite true, but what is your name?
But she is my name. Pablo Francisco Antonio Jose Pedro Manuel Fernando Diego...
I'm afraid we're getting nowhere. I never did like nowhere. They haven't got a beach. Now, please, tell me the name.
Well, to make you very simple, I think you call me Senor Toro. But to make you even more simple, just Mr. Bull. See, that is good. On you, Bull is becoming.
Pardon me, senor, but you are supposed to make a good neighbor speech on music.
See, oh yes, Senor Hamilton, I forget. It was wonderful to collect this invitation to be up in the air with you on the lower part of Basin Street. I can never forget that night in Argentina when the whole village of two families, the Toros and the Tamales, you must know the Tamales, they are a hot bunch. Well, Senor Hamilton, I listen to this low-down Basin Street and I am petrified. I say to myself, quote, Pablo Francisco Antonio, etc., etc., I always call myself by my full name. I say, Pablo, you must visit this Basin Street low down, unquote.
I see, and so you are here with no speech.
See, I have really been here 5 years, Senor Hamilton. But I say to myself, Manuel, you must learn the English to speak so well as Senor Hamilton. Then perhaps you will be asked someday to make the pronouncement. Well, when I get off the boat 5 years ago, I begin to study hard the English, and today I am finished.
Yes, indeed, you are finished in more ways than one. Mr. Bouncer, if you please.
¿Qué hace, tonto? Déjeme, lo voy a matar.
Thank you, Professor Danielo Russello Bull. Anyone wishing to purchase a slightly damaged bass drum may buy one cheaply with a bull thrown in free. It has long been a musical tradition that titles of musical works do not always mean what they seem to mean. For instance, there's the aria from Pagliacci called No, Pagliaccio non son. Literally translated, that means, take it away, Punchinello, I don't want it nohow blues. More modern examples are the Itty Bitty Fitties and the Hutsut song. Maestro Paul Lavelle now adds to this list with his woodwind reading of a dithering divertimento called the Boogly Woogly Piggy. You will note in the third bar of the second movement a quick transition to 3/4 Viennese tempo. This depicts the rendezvous of our hero, Mr. Piggy, with his ever-loving Prunella pig in the local clip joint. Dr. Lavelle's reading of the Boogly Woogly Piggy. Just last week, we told you about a letter Mademoiselle Diane Courtney received from her mother, a French woman now living in New England. The letter scolded Mademoiselle Courtney for singing with her shoes off, telling her it was unladylike. So last week, the Mademoiselle sang fully clothed and wearing hip boots. Since then, her mother has written again, and we now hear an excerpt from the letter.
Chère Diane, c'est avec plaisir que je te dis que j'étais bien fière de toi lorsque tu chantais l'autre soir, non pas sans souliers, mais avec de hautes bottes. Mais Diane, je te recommande bien, ne va pas proche de l'eau, c'est bien trop dangereux.
The Mademoiselle's mother said, quote, yes, my darling daughter, the hip boots are okay, but don't go near the water, unquote. Mademoiselle Diane Courtney now brings us the beloved aria, Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. Oh, yes, Lord. Sometimes I'm almost to the ground. Oh, yes, Lord. One day when I was walking along, oh, yes, Lord, the element opened and the love came down. Oh, yes, Lord, I never shall forget that day. Oh, yes, Lord, when all my sin was washed away. Oh, yes, Lord, for nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah.
As we promised you, Dr. Johann Kirby and his orchestra now return to our concert stage for an encore appearance. This is Dr. Kirby's first appearance over NBC, but we hope he will return often. As you all know, he formerly appeared in an excellent radio feature called Flow Gently, Sweet Rhythm over the Krovny broadcasting system. Dr. Kirby now brings us one of the works for which he is best noted, a work suggested by his press agent, Dr. Ivan Black, a man who knows which side his contracts are buttered on. The work is called Close Shave, and it is played in a tempo de busy bounce with a quasi-hurry rhythm. are indebted, Dr. Kirby. Dr. Henry Hotlips Levine now brings us the second original work by our Basin Street staff arranger-composer, Dr. Franklin DeLiebe Marks. Dr. Marks was branded something of a musical prodigy at the tender age of 10, when his teacher threw up his hands in disgust and refused to give him further lessons. Later, the teacher began to take lessons from his pupil. We hear I Come from Dixie by Dr. Marks, who comes from South Greenpoint, Brooklyn. We ask you to listen particularly for Professor Alfred Lewis Evans on clarinet, who we're happy to say is no longer a long-haired musician. He recently has procured a special transposing haircut. As Professor Evans explains it, quote, I can now play my clarinet without getting my hair tangled in the reed, unquote. Dr. Levine and I Come from Dixie. And so, music lovers, we have blown the foam off the top of another one. Next week at this time, the Chamber Music Society of Lower Basin Street will offer another concert featuring 5 special guests. 4 of them will be the Tonsorial Twitterbugs, a barbershop quartet consisting of Harry Von Zell, Ben Grauer, Mark Hawley, and George Hicks. Our 5th guest will be the world-renowned saxophonist, Nunzio Toots Mondello. Until then, we adjourn.
Your chairman of the Chamber Music Society of Lower Basin Street has again been Dr. Gino Hamilton. This is the Blue Network of the National Broadcasting Company, RCA Building, Radio City, New York.
Stay tuned next for the Lux Radio Theater.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Charles Boyer and Hedy LaMarr in Algiers.
ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille. Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. On the south shore of the Mediterranean sprawls the old strange city of Algiers, gateway to Africa and crossroads of the world. For 1,000 years, it's been the home port of drama and adventure, a haven for hunted men, with mystery in every winding street and danger in every doorway. I can't think of a more intriguing locale for a play with Charles Boyer and Hedy LaMarr. A French detective named Appleby picked this setting when he turned his man-hunting mind to the printed page. He called his story Pepe Le Moco. That was the title of the French motion picture, too, but Walter Wanger called his American version Algiers and gave the part of Pepe Le Moco to Charles Boyer, who revives it for us tonight, with Hedy LaMarr playing her original role of Gabrielle, and it's her first appearance at any microphone. We've never received more requests for a play than this one, and lately, with the picture Pepe Le Moco being generally released in this country, and Algiers playing many cities all over again, you've requested it under both names. Algiers is the drama of a man doomed to spend the rest of his days in a relentless battle against the law, danger with his breath of life, and love the kiss of death. No man alive could call Pepe Le Moco afraid. I think the best way to tell you how we feel about tonight's cast and play is to quote two young girls whom I found in front of the theater marquee today. One said to the other, "Look, Lux has Charles Boyer and Hedy LaMarr tonight. Oh, boy, is that going to be a swell show. I hope they'll forgive my eavesdropping and accept my gratitude, because they put the whole idea of this theater in a few words. It is Lux Flakes that makes a production like this with stars like these possible. And your support of both our theater and product keeps things humming on this side of the footlights. You took our word for it that Lux Flakes was worth a fair trial. And we have your word for it that it came through with flying colors. From coast to coast now, the house lights go down, and the curtain goes up on Algiers, starring Charles Boyer as Pepe Le Moco, Hedy LaMarr as Gabby, and Alan Napier as Inspector Slimane. Algiers, where the blazing desert meets the blue Mediterranean, and modern Europe jostles ancient Africa. A stone's throw from the modern city, the native quarter, known as the Casbah, stands like a fortress above the sea. Here mingle the people of many tribes and races, drifters and outcasts from all parts of the world, and criminals seeking refuge from the law. Supreme on these heights rules one man, Pepe Le Moco, long wanted by the police. Far below the Casbah at police headquarters, the new commissioner demands his capture.
I'm not interested in hearing excuses about local conditions, Inspector. Here's a criminal whose exploits have made him notorious throughout Europe. And for 2 years, he's been living here in Algiers within a stone's throw of your headquarters.
As you say, Commissioner.
I'm here to settle this, and I want it done quickly.
Commissioner, you have only just arrived in Algiers. You are not familiar with the Casbah.
Casbah? What's that? Some kind of nut?
A very hard nut to crack. You see, Pepe Le Moco lives in the Casbah.
Well, why not go in and take him out of it?
You cannot arrest a king in his own palace, and Pepe is well guarded. Let me show you this map, Commissioner.
Ah, this is fantastic.
As a civilized man, you do not like fantasy.
As a police officer, I don't believe in it.
Yet here it exists. Now, this is the native quarter known as the Casbah. As you look at it here, it is just a few lines on the map. But the reality is something stranger than anything you could have dreamed. It is only a step from the modern city to the Casbah, but when you take that step, you enter another world, a melting pot for all the sins of earth. A jungle of houses, a labyrinth of narrow passages and winding alleys, rotten with vermin and decay and the filth of centuries. No one knows what mysteries are hidden behind those walls. No one knows what crimes and hopes are buried in those secret courtyards. 40,000 inhabitants from all over the world live there. Kabyles in their white robes, Chinese faithful to Confucius, gypsies with their fortune-telling and their songs, Negroes from every corner of Africa, and women. Oh, women of every age and color. Women caught in the net of the Casbah. Everywhere there are terraces, all connected together so that those who are accepted can move to any part of the Casbah without even using the street. It is like a fortress rising from the sea, colorful, sordid, dangerous. There is not just one Casbah, there are 100, 1,000. And in that labyrinth, Pepe Lomoco is at home. And he is safe as long as he stays there.
Well, how does this Pepe Lomoco conceal himself? Disguise, no doubt.
You do not know Pepe, Commissioner. He'd laugh at disguise.
Then why don't you find him, Inspector?
Ah, but that is singularly easy. I see him every day.
You see him?
But of course.
Then why, Inspector Slimane, has there been no effort to make an arrest?
To arrest him in the Casbah would be simple. To get him out, impossible.
So you do nothing?
I flatter myself that I do a great deal. In my humble way, I learn about Pepe. I know his habits. I study his weaknesses. When one cannot use guns, one must work with brains.
I prefer guns. Inspector, we're going into the Casbah tonight. I'll need 12 men fully armed and ready for work. And you might prepare a special cell for Pepe Lomoco.
As you wish, monsieur.
The police are coming! Police!
Find out where he is. You there. Where is Pepe Lomoco?
Anna, Mabafu. What's he say, Inspector?
He does not know him. Sergeant, I see Regis over there. Bring him to me.
Who's this Regis?
Oh, a very old friend of ours, an informer.
No, let me go. I don't know anything. I haven't done anything.
Come here, my friend. Where is Pepe Lomoco?
I don't know. By the sword of the great prophet, I haven't set eyes on him for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, I haven't seen his face.
Where is he, Regis? Where is Pepe?
At Grandpère's. I don't know anything. I haven't seen him.
Let him go, Sergeant.
Let me alone. I don't know anything.
What did he say?
He said that Pepe Lomoco is at Grandpère's.
Grandpère? Who's he?
A receiver of stolen goods.
And you know where his place is?
We know it.
Then order your men to surround him at once.
As you say, Commissioner.
Now, here, Pepe, look at this pearl. A remarkable specimen. You know, you and I have the same feeling for beauty, Pepe.
Yes, this pearl belongs on a very special kind of ear. Like a pink shell, with a little curl of gold hair. A special kind of gold. I can just see it.
Pepe, let's get down to business. We want to sell the stuff, not talk about it.
Be quiet, Carlos.
Carlos is definitely uncouth.
Grandpère, you took the words out of my mouth.
He's trying to cheat us, Pepe. All this talk is so he can get a better price, so he can make fools of us.
Yes, so easy to make a fool of me. Why don't you try it sometime?
Well,
Grandpère has dealt with us for 2 years. We must have confidence in each other. That's the way to get along, eh, Grandpère?
That's the truth, Pepe.
You know, this was once my trade. I began life in a jewelry store.
And when you left, you took the store with you.
Yes, it became a habit. You know, I dream about settling down sometime, away from the Casbah, in a great city where people understand these things of beauty. I'd make a collection of jewels like this, not just for myself, for people to see in glass cases, with Max here in a uniform to take care of them.
Okay. And me, Pepe?
You, Pierrot, you're my young friend. You would have a uniform like a general and be in charge of everything.
Oh, I'd like that if you were there, too. I want to stick with you, Pepe.
Ah, Pierrot, I have great hopes for you someday.
The signal. Get that stuff off the table.
Leave it alone, Carlos. Who is it?
It's Inez. Quick.
Inez, open the door. Come in, Inez.
Pepe, the police. They're coming.
Police? Pierrot, look out the window. How do you know it's the police?
I saw them. They're coming across the terrace. Down in the street, everywhere. They're surrounding the house.
Well, that's funny. How did they know I was here?
Here they come, Pepe. Here, give me the gun.
When will you learn to obey orders?
Pepe, I only thought that...
There, you see? That was too close. Don't take so many chances, Pierrot. I don't want a bullet to come between us, the way that one almost did.
Pepe, there's the door downstairs.
Now they'll break it again. Oh, every few weeks I have to get new doors. You'd better go, Pepe. Go on, quick. Cross the room.
Inez, you come with me. I want to speak to you. The rest of you, out the back way. I'll see you later. This way, Inez. Inez, did you tell anyone where I was?
No one, Pepe.
You're sure? Try to remember.
Why don't you believe me, Pepe? All I want is to please you. I could not lie to you.
Don't you? What about all that time you kept telling me that you didn't like me?
But this is serious.
Ah, so love is not serious.
Pepe, it's serious if someone told the police. I didn't talk to anyone. I stayed at home until Regis came.
Who came?
Regis?
Oh, Regis. My old and trusted friend.
As soon as he told me, I ran to you.
What did Regis tell you?
About the police. He wanted me to warn you.
Well, that was nice of him, wasn't it?
And that's what I thought.
Yes. Is that all you thought?
Was there anything else for me to think?
That's what I like about you, Ines. You're such a child.
I don't understand you, Pepe.
Never mind. Here, hold out your hand. I have something very beautiful.
Oh,
See?
a ring. Oh, Pepe.
Oh, no. Don't grab. It's unlucky.
You want to give it to me, Pepe?
No, it's for some fat old woman.
Oh, let me have it, Pepe. Sometime I'll get fat.
But you would lose it before that.
Oh, no, I'll keep it for a charm.
Then you must keep your fingers crossed.
All right.
So, there, see?
Oh, this ring will mean that I'm always yours, Pepe. With my fingers crossed. Pepe, they've seen you.
There he is! Keep down, Ines.
Pepe, run, they'll catch you.
Don't worry. You get back to the Grand Place. I'll meet you in the morning.
Pepe, be careful. Be careful.
There he goes! Across the roof! Get after him!
It's useless, monsieur.
Keep firing! Don't let him out of your sight!
Monsieur, will you help me, please?
Madame, get off the street.
I'm afraid I don't know which way to go.
In this doorway. Here, quickly.
Thank you, monsieur.
Not at all. But might I suggest that the Casbah is not a safe place to visit in the evening, particularly when one is wearing jewels such as yours.
But you see, I wasn't alone. I came with some friends, and we became separated when those men began to shoot.
Good evening. Make yourself comfortable, please. Something to drink?
No, thank you.
Evening, Aisha. We will just wait in here for a moment, if you do not mind.
Make yourself comfortable, monsieur.
What is this all about? What's happening out there?
Oh, it's nothing, madame. You know how the police are. They like to keep everything in an uproar.
A very profound observation. You see, madame, they are after a certain Pepe Le Moco, a jewel thief. They've been trying to catch him for 2 years.
2 years? The police must be rather stupid.
As one of them, I consider that a triumph of understatement.
You are one of them?
I have that doubtful honor. Inspector Slimane is my name.
And this Pepe Le Moco, how does he manage to keep out of your way so successfully?
Oh, he is clever. A good head.
It's not his head that saves him, it's his heart. A man with such a good heart could get around anyone.
He sounds very intriguing, your Pepe Le Moco.
That is a matter of taste, madame.
Good evening, Aisha.
Pepe, don't come in here.
Well, Inspector Slimane.
And how are you, Pepe?
Pepe? Then this is...
Pepe Le Moco. We were just talking of you, my friend.
Good evening, mademoiselle.
Good evening. Why, your arm is bleeding. You're hurt.
Oh, it's nothing. A flea bite. One of the inspector's bullets scratched me. Well, this is a very pleasant surprise, mademoiselle. I often see the inspector, but never in such charming company.
Are you looking at the lady's jewels, Pepe?
No, I'm looking at the lady, Inspector. You've never been to the Casbah before, mademoiselle, have you?
No. I'm just passing through Algiers with my friends.
Oh, you will come again. There is something about the Casbah. Once you've been here, you can't stay away.
Really? Perhaps you're right.
Well, Inspector, why aren't you out chasing the fox?
Oh, it's such a silly business. I prefer to use my brain.
You know, your friends did a little better than usual tonight. At least they found me. That's pretty good for them.
Shall we say a step in the right direction?
Excuse us, mademoiselle, if we talk shop. Cigarette.
Please.
They thought I was at Grand-Père's. Poor old man. He has no luck. They won't even let him sleep in peace. Sometimes I feel sorry for them. They'll never get me by these techniques, Slimane.
I know. I have tried to point that out to them.
Well, for once we agree, the inspector and I.
You know, Pepe, in the end, I am the one who will get you.
Really? I can hardly wait for the day.
And not only you, but the others, too. Hero, Carlos, Grand-Père, all of you.
He's funny, my friend Slimane. He looks normal, doesn't he, mademoiselle? But he has delusions of grandeur. He thinks he can arrest me.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Sure. You know what I like about you, Inspector?
I'm humbly waiting for you to tell me.
Your face. It is a perfect face for your job. To look that false is almost the equivalent of being honest.
Oh, I am honored that my appearance pleases you.
Don't mention it. Well, I'm afraid I have to go. Business, you know. Good night, mademoiselle.
Good night.
Good luck, Pepe.
It is a shame, isn't it?
What?
A waste of talent. An unusual intelligence. One hates to see him buried so young.
Buried?
It is the same thing.
What makes you so sure?
I have marked the date of his arrest on the wall of my room. High up, where it reads black in the rays of the setting sun. Shall we go?
Inspector. I sent for Regis here. He has a very clever plan.
Oh, Regis has a plan. And what is it, Regis?
Well, Inspector, we've all learned that there's only one way to arrest Pepe, and that's to get him out of the Caspar.
Oh, that is very intelligent of you, Regis. Shall we send him an engraved invitation?
Pepe's too clever to fall into a trap. But some of his friends are not so clever.
Get to the point.
Well, suppose Pierrot comes down into town, eh? Pepe will be worried by his absence, and he'll come down into town to find him.
You have overlooked just one little point. How do you get Pierrot to come down?
Ah, that's my plan. Magnificent plan. You see, Pierrot has a mother, very old. Now, if she should be sick and send a letter to Pierrot, why, what could he do but leave the Caspar and come down here to town? He's a bad boy, Pierrot, but a good son. When he comes, we keep the arrest a secret. And soon Pepe comes down to look for him. And when Pepe comes out of the Caspar, we have him. Huh? Are we agreed?
Agreed. But how do we know we can trust you not to make a better bargain with Pepe?
What? I'm an informer, not a hypocrite. What are you laughing at, Inspector?
It amuses me to see you sell your friends at bargain prices. You have a flair for business, Regis.
Good morning, Pepe.
Morning, Aisha.
Good morning, Pepe.
Hello, Betty.
Better watch out, Pepe. Women will be the death of you yet.
Say happy death, Inspector. Good morning. Coming my way?
With pleasure.
Well, did you get home safely last night?
Why not?
Nothing unpleasant, eh?
Yes, we had one rather unpleasant experience.
Yes?
With you.
She didn't think so.
What makes you so sure?
What did she say?
Say, oh, you know, women, they talk about nothing. I hardly listen. Was there anything special about her?
Yes. Pearls. The color I like. Handcuffs I can appreciate. Platinum and diamonds. And she didn't buy that perfume in Algiers.
What about the eyes?
Huh? Well, they all have eyes. But all that silk and jingle, you don't see much of that in the Casbah.
But you do where she comes from, eh? She asked quite a few questions about you.
Oh, she did? What did you tell her?
Oh, what could I tell her?
Why? Did you think she might be afraid of my past?
No, but she might be a little appalled at your future. I told her you might get off with 20 years with a good lawyer.
You wouldn't want me to get 20 years. You're too fond of me. What's her name?
So, you are thinking about her.
Now, how could I be thinking about her when I don't even know her name?
Her name is Gabrielle. She's stopping with friends at the Hotel Madeleine. You can see her there any time, Pepe.
I see. Thank you, Inspector. I'll wait for her to come back to the Casbah.
Gabby, are you dressed yet, Gabby? Andre just phoned. He's waiting on the terrace.
Andre phoned. If I'm out of his sight for 5 minutes, Andre phones.
Well, don't you like having him so attentive?
I love it. I've just been sitting here thinking that I'm the happiest girl in the world.
Well, you should be. Marrying a man who adores you and can give you everything in the world you ever dreamed about.
That's my trouble. I'm such a fool. I go dreaming about the wrong things.
Oh, that's a terrible mistake.
Marie, remember the time in the Bon Ton bargain basement? The two of us behind the counter? Handkerchiefs, gloves, hosiery?
Yes. And don't you forget it.
I won't.
After all, you don't marry for fun. I didn't. Oh, come on, Gabby. Inspector Slimane is there, too.
Inspector Slimane?
Well, didn't you tell me you invited him?
Oh, of course. I'd forgotten. I'm ready, Marie.
Ah, there you are, Gabby. Sit down, dear.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Inspector. I see you've already met my fiancée.
I took the liberty of presenting myself. As you see, I could not wait to take advantage of your invitation last night.
I'm glad.
Yes, we're all glad.
Inspector, will you tell my fiancée where I was last night during the shooting?
You were with me.
There. You see, Andre?
I never doubted you, Gabby.
And whom did we meet, Inspector?
We met Pepe Lemoco.
Pepe Lemoco. Nice friends you have.
In business, one cannot choose.
Inspector, have you seen him since?
Yes, mademoiselle.
Did he say anything about me?
Well, in a way.
Oh, I know. My pearls.
A connoisseur can admire pearls without neglecting the wearer.
Oh, he means if he stole your pearls, he'd steal you with them. Oh, he sounds marvelous to me. I'd like to meet him.
It can easily be arranged if you wish to visit the Casbah again with a suitable guide.
Well, I hardly think it necessary.
Of course, would love to go. Tonight, Inspector, if it's convenient.
I am at your service, mademoiselle.
on the roof?
Nothing.
What are you looking at like that?
Oh, looking out across the harbor.
What's there, Pepe? What do you see?
Home.
Oh, you can't see your home from here.
Well, there's no harm in trying.
Pepe, what are you looking at?
Down there in the bay. That ship.
Doesn't it make you seasick to look at boats?
Doesn't it give you a headache to ask so many questions?
No. Have you got a headache?
No, I'm thinking.
Oh, that's sure to give you a headache.
Oh, I don't think with my head. I think with my heart.
Then you better tell me what you're thinking.
It's nothing.
If it's nothing, you better tell me.
Oh, Inez, I'll get mad if you're going like this.
I want you to get mad. Shout at me and hurt me, but don't treat me as if I'm not here.
Oh, I know you're here.
No, you don't. You're dreaming about something with your eyes wide open. Oh, Pepe, I wish you'd dream about me.
Look, you always lived in the Casbah. For you, there is nothing outside.
The Casbah's big enough?
Not for me. It's like being in a grave.
Pepe.
Can't stand much more of it.
If you want to go away, I'll go with you. Pepe, take me with you. We could be happy together. Oh. You think I'd look funny in your big city. I'm not good enough for you there.
Oh, Inez, it isn't you. It's the Casbah. You belong here. You don't understand the way I feel. I've stood it for 2 years. The time comes when you don't stand it anymore. Morning, noon, and night. Same thing, same people. I'm fed up. I've had enough.
You're tired of me.
It has nothing to do with you. I just want to get away.
Do you know when you're going away? Never.
You'll see.
You can't do it. I am the Casbah. I'll keep you. Just try to get away and you'll find out. It's funny for the police to come in and try to arrest you. You're in prison already. You're in the Casbah with a wall around you.
Stop it.
There's nothing else. You'll never have anything else.
Stop it,
and I'm glad there's no world outside, not for you ever.
Be quiet. Be quiet.
Oh, Pepe. Pepe, I love you. I love you.
Where are we going now, Inspector?
I thought perhaps a cafe or two, mademoiselle.
Yes, that would be interesting.
I'm sorry your fiancé did not care to join us this evening.
The Casbah is a little too exciting for Andre.
Ah. This is Shani's place, mademoiselle. We can sit right out here.
Good evening.
Ah, Pepe, will you join us?
With pleasure. Oh, good evening, mademoiselle.
Good evening.
Oh, I wondered if you'd excuse me a moment. I want to buy some cigarettes.
Of course, Inspector.
I leave you in safe hands, mademoiselle.
So, you wanted to take another look at the strange, wild animal.
Strange, but not so very wild.
How do you like my cage?
I don't know yet.
Do you like Algiers?
I don't like traveling. Makes me homesick.
Does it?
If I can't see the same old streets when I open my eyes in the morning, I want to go right back to sleep.
So do I, and yet I've been in the Casbah for 2 years.
You are homesick, too?
Uh-huh, very.
Pepe.
Excuse me. Well, Carlos?
Pepe Piero's gone to the town.
What for?
I don't know. It was something about a letter from his mother. Regis went with him.
Regis? Let me know as soon as I get back.
Sure. Say.
What?
That girl you're with is all right, huh?
I'll tell her you said so.
Take a look at those rocks she's wearing. If it was me, I'd get them first and do the fancy stuff afterwards.
Shut up. Get out of here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, mademoiselle.
Was he talking about me?
Yes, he was worried about you.
Why?
Well, all that stuff you have on.
Oh, that's very nice of him.
You're not worried yourself?
No, not while I'm with you.
Huh? Right. Oh, that bracelet is really something.
Isn't it? And it hardly weighs anything at all. Here, feel it.
Oh, at least 20,000 francs, eh?
Add a zero.
Oh, but I mean, what I would get for it. Here, better put it on again.
You put it on, please.
Huh. All right. There. Want to dance?
I'd love to.
Your name is Gabrielle, isn't it?
Yes, they call me Gabi.
Are you married?
No.
Widow?
No.
Why not? Who are you with?
My fiancé?
Oh. What is he like?
Jealous. Very jealous.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, at nothing.
Too bad.
What's too bad?
Too bad I don't know you better.
Why?
Because I would slap your face. See, when people laugh around me, I like to know why.
I wasn't laughing at you. I was thinking of Andre's face, if you could see me now, dancing with Pepe Le Moco.
Come with me.
Where?
Outside on the terrace.
But Inspector Slimane will be looking for me.
You said you were in safe hands. Come outside.
All right. Is that the harbor down there?
Yes, the harbor. All the ships that leave Algiers. The ships that go home.
Where is your home?
Any place in the world except the Casbah.
I know what you mean. Any place where there are lights.
Yes, lights and music. Lovely women laughing.
Walking on the boulevard.
In the Spain.
The smell of the first flowers in the city park.
Yes, the theaters, the cafes, the subway.
Will you ever leave here?
No.
Will you ever be happy here?
Perhaps. It all depends.
I'll have to go now.
No, not yet.
I must. My friends are waiting, but I'll come back.
When?
Tomorrow.
How can I be sure?
I never break a promise. Let me go.
Why should I?
Because I asked you.
Say, please.
You're rude.
Am I? Tomorrow, I'll be expecting you here.
Mr. DeMille will be back in just a moment to bring us Act Two of Algiers with Charles Boyer and Hedy LaMarr. But first...
Flight number 4, United Airlines, mainliner sleeper plane, leaving for Denver, Omaha, Chicago.
Tonight we have as our guest Miss Frances Litiger, one of the lovely young stewardesses who fly with those huge mainliners. Chosen for poise, charm, expert training, these girls have an exciting and glamorous job, and one that's very hard on stockings. So we're especially proud that so many of United Airlines' 194 stewardesses use Lux Flakes for their stockings, both silk and nylon. Over 81% of the girls who have told us what care they give their stockings use Lux Flakes. Miss Litiger, what part of your job would you say was hardest on stockings?
Why, I'd say making up the berths in the sleeper plane. We have to kneel right down on the floor to change the seats into lower berths.
Stockings have to be elastic to take strain like that.
Other things are hard on them, too, Mr. Roy, like serving meals.
You mean sandwiches and so on?
No, indeed. I mean real hot meals. Things like broiled filet mignon and tomato juice, salad, dessert, and coffee.
Well, how can anything that sounds so good be hard on stockings?
Well, we keep the hot dishes in a special compartment down near the floor of the plane. So every time we serve one, we have to stoop down. And we serve 1 million meals a year.
Yet you find time for the rest of your job, too?
Oh, yes. Actually, we spend most of our time talking with passengers, answering questions.
What question are you asked most often, Miss Litiger?
Most people want to know how high we are.
Well, I'd like to know, too.
Our usual flying altitude on United is about 1.5 miles to 2 miles high.
I guess that makes your recommendation just about the highest praise Lux Flakes has ever had.
Lux deserves high praise, Mr. Roy. I've found, and so have many of my friends, that it cuts down on runs and helps stockings to wear better.
Thank you, Miss Litiger. Everywhere you go, New Quick Lux is the favorite stocking care. Every woman who stoops down to dust the furniture at home or open a filing cabinet at the office knows that stockings have to keep their elasticity if they're to stretch without breaking. New Quick Lux guards that precious elasticity. For better stocking wear and to cut down on stocking runs, wash your stockings after every wearing in gentle New Quick Lux. We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. Act Two of Algiers, starring Charles Boyer as Pepe Le Moco and Hedy LaMarr as Gabby, with Alan Napier as Inspector Slimane. Only a few seconds have passed. On the terrace above the Casbah, Pepe Lamoco and Gabby stand looking deep into each other's eyes. With a quick movement, she tries to tear herself away, but his hand grips her arm.
Please, I must go.
Remember your promise.
I will, I told you. Tomorrow. Pepe! What the? Pepe! Pepe!
What do you want? Can't you see I'm with Madame?
It's Pierrot. He's come back from the town. He's been shot.
What are you
They
saying?
tried to arrest him. He's been shot.
Where is he? Take me to him.
You.
Where is he?
Who?
Regis. He sent me there. Where is he?
Carlos, help him here. Take him to Algiers.
They got me, Pepe. The police. I wouldn't listen to you.
Hannes, go with Pierrot. I'm going to find Regis.
Let me go, Pepe. Let me go, please.
No, sit down. You were fond of Pierrot, weren't you, Regis?
Oh, I was.
Eh?
I am fond of him.
Where is he now?
I tell you, I don't know. No, please, Pepe, let me go.
No, you don't want to leave before he gets back. You want to know why he's been detained, don't you?
I don't know anything about Pierrot, Pepe. You know me. You know I'm all right. Tell me you do. Last night, I was the one who came to warn you.
Yes, you were the one.
Pepe, we have Pierrot here.
Pierrot. Pierrot!
Bring him in.
Put your arm around me, Pierrot.
Where is he? No, Pierrot. I'm your friend. Now, don't shoot me.
Carlos,
no.
hold my arm. Steady.
No, please, don't.
Now,
please,
Pierrot,
Pierrot,
you
no.
sent me down there.
Please,
And now you pay your...
No.
Gil. He's dead. He's dead. You killed him, Regis.
No, don't kill me.
Give me that
Don't
gun.
kill me,
Well, Inspector?
It's finished, Pepe. I did everything for Pierrot that you would have done yourself. I was all alone at the cemetery. I followed the custom of your people, a handful of earth on the body, and flowers to make him feel at home in such a strange place. It is hard not to be able to go down to say goodbye to your friend on his last journey.
Pierrot is dead. There's no sense to it. I wasn't even there.
Oh, Pepe, I know how you feel. You are a prisoner in the Casbah. But a day will come when they will not be able to prevent your leaving. You will go out of the Casbah in spite of them all.
I'll get out whenever I wish.
And when you go, you will go quietly, the way Pierrot went. Feet first. I am sorry for you, Pepe.
Tell me, how is she?
She?
You know, Gabby.
Oh, I'm afraid you will not see her again. Her last visit to the Casbah was a little too much for her. She got a bad impression of the Casbah. It's a pity.
Pepe, sit down. Please sit down. All day long you've walked back and forth. Please, Pepe.
Sure, come on, Pepe, sit down.
Pepe, my son.
Well, why are you all staring at me? I'm sick of looking at you. Get out of here, get out.
I know what it is. You're thinking of that girl, I know. But she's never coming back. She told me last night. And today I went to the terrace. She wasn't there. She'll never be there.
Never coming back, eh?
I told you to get those jewels. You had them right in the palm of your hand.
Stop it!
Your friends have no tact, my dear Pepe. I know how it pains you to live among this cattle, but let me assure you...
They can't keep me here. I'm free. Free to go. I'm sick of it. All of you. I'm sick of listening to you. And I'm sick of looking at you. I'll get out when I feel like it. None of you can stop me.
Pepe, listen to me. Now, don't go near the town.
I don't need your advice. None of you. I'm free to do as I please. Free. You hear that?
You're walking into a trap. You know better.
They can't touch me. I'm going down. Get out of my way. When I please, I said. And when I please is now. Get out of my way.
Pepe, come back. Pepe!
Pepe's leaving the Casbah.
He's leaving the Casbah.
Get out of my way.
Pepe Lamoco is going out.
Pepe, come back. He's going out.
Pepe's
Out of my way.
Pepe.
All of you. I'm going out. You hear? I'm going out.
Pepe, wait. Don't go. She's here, Pepe. I saw her. She's waiting for you.
What? You told me she wouldn't come again.
I lied to you, Pepe. I lied. Forgive me.
Where is she?
Pepe,
You're so quiet.
I'm looking at you. I can't speak when I do that.
When you met me tonight, you were so very strange. Did you think I wasn't coming back?
I was afraid you weren't. Oh, you're beautiful. That's easy to say, isn't it? But what I'm telling you is different, see? For me, you're more than that. For 2 years, I've been lost, like walking in my sleep. Suddenly, I wake up, that's you. I don't know what I've been doing all that time, waiting for you without knowing it. Do you know what you are to me? You're all the world outside. You're all those lights and music we were speaking of. With you, I escape. See? Do you know what you remind me of? The subway. Close your eyes. Listen. Can you hear it?
That's my heart beating.
Does it go like a subway train?
Oh, much faster.
You're all silk, and you jingle when you walk. And with all that, you make me think of the subway. Isn't that funny? Tell me, what did you do before?
Before what?
Well, before the jewels.
I wanted them. Pepe, it's late. I'll have to go.
Suppose you don't come tomorrow.
Suppose I don't. Pepe, can't you ever get away from the Casbah?
No. I'm caught here. Like a bear in a hole. Dogs barking, hunters all around. No way out of it. Do you like that? Maybe it's lucky for you.
I don't like it, and it's not lucky.
You're right. If you don't come back, I might do anything. I might go down to your hotel to get you.
No, don't. Please don't.
Tomorrow, then?
Tomorrow. I never break a promise.
We'll see you later. I want to speak to Commissioner Janvier, please. Hello? Is that Commissioner Janvier? This is Inspector Slimane. I believe we have a way to bring Pepe Lomoco from the Casbah, Commissioner. Yes? I believe I can guarantee it. I always told Pepe that women would be the death of him.
Sit down, Inspector. What was it you wanted to see me about?
Monsieur, it is about your fiancée.
My fiancée?
Yes. My mission is rather a delicate one, but necessary. I merely wish to suggest that your fiancée is a little too fond, shall we say, of the local color of the Casbah.
What is all this?
The Casbah is hardly the place for a woman alone. She attracts too much attention. We naturally wish to protect her from any embarrassment. Monsieur, she must not return to the Casbah.
I understand. Will you wait here, please? I'll speak to her.
Come in.
Sorry to disturb you. Oh, going out?
Looks that way.
Where are you going?
For a walk.
But where?
To the park.
May I ask you to give me a sensible answer?
Then ask me a sensible question. Where could I go? I don't know anyone in Algiers. I just walk straight ahead.
And where does that take you?
I'll know when I get there.
No, you won't, because you're not going.
Oh, yes, my dear. Your hotel bores me. The head waiter looks like an undertaker. And every time I step into this apartment, it looks more like a funeral parlor. Goodbye, Andre.
Wait. I know where you're going.
Do you?
You're going to the Casbah.
Well.
You go there every day.
Do I?
To meet Pepe Lomoco.
Oh. So now you're spying on me.
You're going to be my wife, Gabby.
You don't make it a very pleasant prospect.
I won't allow you to behave like this.
Andre, I'm glad you said that.
What do you mean?
We've got to be honest with each other. Why do you think I'm marrying you? Look at yourself and then look at me. I've never lied to you. You knew I didn't love you when I promised to marry you. And you thought it was all right. Until we are married, Andre, I'll do as I please. That's fair enough.
I forbid you to go.
It's a waste of time, Andre.
If you go now, there'll be no use in your coming back.
All right. Goodbye, Andre.
Gabby, don't do it. Come back, Gabby. Don't do it, please.
No, don't, mademoiselle.
Inspector, what did you say?
I also ask you not to go to the Casbah.
Why not?
Your fiancé was only trying to spare you. He did not want to tell you the truth as I told it to him. You see, an attempt was made to capture Pepe Lomoco this afternoon. In a sense, it was successful.
You mean he's been taken? Pepe Lamoco has been captured.
Not alive, mademoiselle. Pepe Lamoco was killed.
In just a moment, you'll hear Act 3 of Algiers with Charles Boyer and Hedy LaMarr. Now, I want to tell you a real-life story which happened to Mrs. Florence Dewey of Morris, Illinois. About 5 or 6 years ago, Mrs. Dewey bought some material for a new dress. It was a washable rayon crepe, a beautiful print with bright-colored sprays on a navy blue background. That was a long time ago. But just recently, we heard from Mrs. Dewey about that same dress. Here's what she said.
I followed your advice about using Lux Flakes, and I've never used anything else in laundering this dress. It has been washed over 100 times, and yet the colors are still bright and fresh. In fact, I can't see any difference between the colors in this dress that I've washed so often and a jacket made from the same material at the same time that I've worn and washed only a few times.
I'd like to thank Mrs. Dewey for letting us tell you about that remarkable record, because it is one more proof, and a good one, of how very gentle new Quick Lux Flakes are. How safe for anything safe in water. You see, there's no harmful alkali in new Quick Lux, so naturally your pretty things don't get faded and dull, but stay fresh and new-looking longer. Lux takes away every bit of perspiration and soil so fast. It gives such rich suds from just a few flakes, even in hard water. That makes it thrifty. Marvelous purity, speed, thrift. Those are the things that have made new Quick Lux the most popular soap in the whole United States, for pretty dresses, for stockings, underthings, and other nice things, too. The favorite 2-to-1 over any other flakes, chips, or beads. Now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
The curtain rises on the third act of Algiers. Pepe Lamoco is not dead. That was only a ruse of Inspector Slemane's to keep Gabby away from the Casbah and to bring Pepe out. In vain, Pepe waits for her to appear at their meeting place. At last he returns to his room, weary and bitter.
Oh, Pepe. Anything wrong? What's the matter? This morning you were singing. Why don't you sing now?
Why don't you mind your own business?
Oh, so that's the way it is. All right, I'll leave you to yourself. Well, I'm going into the town.
The town? What for?
I'm like you. I'm bored.
Anything on your mind?
No, just to look things over.
When are you going?
Now.
Will you do me a favor?
Sure, what?
I want you to deliver a letter for me. I'll write it now.
Oh? Okay, I get the idea. Maybe I don't look like Cupid, but I'll manage. Where's she staying? What hotel?
At the Madeleine.
You want it delivered in person? Or maybe I can't get to see her.
Look, go to the servants' entrance.
Uh-huh.
Give someone a good tip. And tell them you've got to have an answer.
Don't worry, I'll get it. I'll be back in 2 hours.
Hello? Yes, this is Andre Giraud. Oh, yes. What boat is that? The Ile d'Algiers at 6 this evening? Yes, make the reservations, please. Well, Gabby, are you coming with me? Gabby, I asked you if you're sailing with me.
Do you want me to? Yes.
You know I want you to.
Even after what I told you this morning?
Oh, you were excited, Gabby. You didn't know what you were saying.
But I did, Andre. I never thought so clearly in all my life.
Gabby, I won't pretend you haven't hurt me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
But I still don't understand. This man, this Pepe Lamoco, what could he have meant to you?
I could never make you understand that. I don't even understand it myself. I only know that when I was with him, I never wanted to leave. And when I was away from him, I didn't live until I saw him again.
Gabby.
I was going to meet him this morning. He'd hold out his hand to me and smile, and we'd climb up to the terrace above the Casbah and look out across the harbor. And I'd be happy with him. That's all I know. I'd be happy with him.
Pepe?
Here. Is Stella's with you?
No, it's Ladry, Pepe. He's just come from the town.
Pepe, I've got to speak to you.
What do you want?
Pepe, the police have taken callers.
What?
They arrested him in the town.
How do you know?
I was there, Pepe.
Yes?
How much did you sell him for?
Would I be here if I'd sold him?
Go on. What did you have to do with it?
I was at the police station when they brought Carlos in. I had a chance to see him in a cell. He gave me a letter, the one you had given him. He told me to take it to the hotel.
So you went to the hotel with the letter?
I did it for you, Pepe.
Well, did you get it?
What?
The answer.
Oh, she wanted to write to you, but she couldn't. She's being closely watched. But she expects you this morning. You can go down without any risk. Go to the service entrance in the back of the hotel. She'll be watching from her window.
Oh. Is that all?
Well, she wanted to come up, but she couldn't get away.
You're not going down, Pepe. You can't.
Shut up! Go on, Larby.
Well, that's all, Pepe. She's waiting for you. Well, I'll have to leave.
No, now, wait. You said Gabby couldn't write because she was watched.
Yes, Pepe.
But in a little while, she'll be able to see me.
At the back of the hotel, yes.
Oh, that's very funny.
Oh, well, he's going to be away.
Oh, I see. But why couldn't she write to me?
Because he was there then.
Then how could she talk to you?
Well, because...
Because you don't know.
Pepe...
Something else. You think Carlos is dumb enough to give you my letter?
But you wrote a letter.
Do you think me so stupid as to believe he would give it to you?
Pepe, I give you my word.
So Gabby couldn't write, but she could talk to you.
Yes.
Well, for a woman who is so closely watched, it's funny the way she can do things. Now I've laughed enough. You hear me? I'm through laughing.
Pepe, on the head of my
Carlos was arrested, that's true.
I told you,
You
Pepe.
had my letter, that's true.
But I told you.
After that, it fits. But after that, nothing fits. Now tell me what happened.
Pepe, let me go.
Tell me what happened. Shall I break your neck to refresh your memory?
No, Pepe.
Tell me, you hear? Tell me the truth.
I'll tell you, Pepe. I'll tell you everything.
All right. Well?
Slimane planned it all.
Slimane? Then she never got my letter.
No. He told me to come to you.
Go on.
He thinks you'll come down.
And then?
Well, the hotel is surrounded. They're waiting for you.
Did you see the girl?
No.
Why didn't she come up here?
He told her you'd been killed. What? Well, that's what she thinks. She thinks you're dead.
Oh, I see.
She's leaving tonight on the Ville d'Algiers. But Slimane planned the whole thing.
Is that all?
Yes.
So, they're expecting me, are they? Well, they won't be disappointed.
You can't do it, Pepe. You can't leave me. I won't let you. You'll be killed.
I won't be killed. If I am, blame it on the Casbah.
It's for her you're throwing away your life. Pepe, come back. Pepe!
He's going. Pepe Lamoko. He's leaving the Casbah.
He's going out.
Out of the Casbah.
Going to the town.
They'll get him sure.
Going out.
Leaving the Casbah.
Pepe Lamoko.
He's going out.
He's going out.
Pepe Lamoko.
Going out.
Hello, Inspector Slimane calling. Surround the Hotel Madeleine. I just had word that Pepe Lamoko is leaving the Casbah. Cover that back entrance. When he comes, don't let him out of the courtyard. Wait. That girl. Hold that girl.
Let me go.
Bring her here.
Come along now, come along.
Let go. I haven't done anything.
Well, Ines, we did not expect you. Where's Pepe?
He's not coming here. He's gone to the boat.
You expect me to believe that?
He's going away with her.
Oh, so you are the one to betray him. You would kill him before you would let him go free.
No.
And that's what you've done, as sure as if you'd held a gun in your hand.
I couldn't let him go. I couldn't lose him.
And I thought I'd figured all the moves, but I miscalculated.
Why didn't I think of you?
No.
Send 10 men to the dock area.
No, give him a chance. Let him go, please.
Surround the gate of the pier.
No,
Don't
please.
here. Don't let him get on that boat.
Gabby, we're almost ready to leave. Gabby, do you hear me? I'll make you forget, dear. I'll make you forget everything.
Forget? You still don't understand, Andre. I don't want to forget.
Hurry, will you? Give me that ticket.
Here you are, sir. One passage on the Ville d'Algiers. You can just make it.
Thanks.
Put up your hands, Pepe.
What?
You see, Pepe, we meet at the appointed time. Put the handcuffs on him.
No, Slimane. Not here. She may see me. Not here, please.
As you wish. I cannot refuse an old friend.
Slimane, could I... Let me wait here until the boat leaves. It's not too much to ask. I can't get away.
All right, Pepe. I know I can trust you.
Pepe, I did it. You might have got away, but I told them. Oh, baby, don't hate me.
No, don't cry, Inez.
I was crazy because I love you so. I love you, baby.
You only did what your heart told you. So did I. It's leaving, Pepe. Shall we go? No, not yet, please. Look! I see her. She's at the rail. Gabby! Gabby!
She can't hear you, my friend.
Gabby! 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 He's getting away! Gabby!
Get him! Don't shoot! He can't get away!
Don't shoot! Gabby, come back! Come back! Gabby! Gabby, Pepe! Gabby, hear me! Gabby! Gabby! You fools! I told you not to shoot. He was not trying to get away. Oh, Pepe. Look at me, Pepe. Is it bad? Your men, they're learning to shoot. Much better.
Oh, Pepe.
I'm sorry, Pepe. He thought you were going to escape. Escape? And so I have. My friend. Gabby. Gabby. It is over. Pepe Lomoco has left the castle.
Pepe.
In a moment, Mr. DeMille returns with our stars for their curtain call. He'll also bring us advanced news of plans for the fall season. Meantime, we of the Lux Radio Theater wish our many friends a very happy summer. We know from what you tell us that Lux Flakes contribute in many ways to happy, warm weather living. Nowadays, the smart woman lives in Luxables all summer long and looks cool and crisp, fresh as a daisy with no trouble at all. For new Quick Lux Flakes makes daintiness easy. Just a dip in these fast, gentle suds, and everything that's washable comes out delightfully fresh and sweet. Underthings, dresses, sports things. Of course, you'll Lux them every day or so during hot, sticky weather, and it's a wonderful help to have flakes that are so fast. It's reassuring, too, to know that these gentle flakes are so safe, that they keep nice things, nice colors, new-looking longer. Wherever you go this summer, or wherever you stay, at home, in the country, at the shore, keep that friendly box of Lux Flakes handy to guard the most important of all charms, daintiness. New Quick Lux comes in the same familiar package, costs you no more. Now, here's Mr. DeMille with our stars.
It isn't often we can say that one of our stars is taking his first curtain call in the Lux Radio Theater. But tonight, both of our stars are here for the first time. They're back on the stage now. Charles Boyer and Hedy LaMarr.
Thank you, CB. I'm delighted to be here. It was a great pleasure to work with Hedy again.
Oh, wasn't Algiers your first experience with a camera here in Hollywood, Hedy?
Yes, Mr. DeMille. And it was a thrilling day for me when I played my first scene with Charles.
She was so beautiful, even the cameraman sighed.
I can understand his point of view, Charles.
I think you're ribbing me. Ribbing? That's pretty good American, isn't it, Mr. DeMille?
Excellent, Hedy, but we mean it. I haven't seen you around the Paramount lot recently, Charles. Have you finished Hold Back the Dawn?
Yes, we finished a few days ago, CB. So I have a little vacation coming. Perhaps I'd better begin it right now by saying good night and thank you again.
Good night, Mr. DeMille, and I've enjoyed it so much.
Good night. You two have a way with an audience. When the clock on your mantel strikes the hour, the Lux Radio Theater completes its 7th season on the air. Down the long succession of Monday nights, Lux Flakes and Lux Toilet Soap have brought you about 350 different plays. And that means we've cast almost 8,000 parts with the best actors we could find. What counts most is that during those 7 years, 7 of the most important years in the history of the world, you've made this theater a kind of national meeting place, an all-American theater that has become a symbol of the American way of life. And we are well aware of our responsibility to you in the significant years that are to come. Our first responsibility, of course, is entertainment. And for your entertainment in the first few weeks of our 8th season, starting in September, we plan to bring you stars like Cary Grant, Irene Dunn, Bob Hope, Rosalind Russell, Claudette Colbert, and Barbara Stanwyck in plays that you yourselves will ask for. Meanwhile, we recommend the program the Columbia Broadcasting System will present at this time during our 8 weeks holiday. The program is called Forecast and presents leading stars of Hollywood radio, the theater, and the concert stage. As Forecast number 1 next Monday, you'll hear The 1001 Nights with Marlene Dietrich as Scheherazade in a radio production of the Arabian Nights. You've made the Lux products behind this theater, Lux Flakes and Lux Toilet Soap, a national habit. And we know from past experience that you're not going to break that habit during our summer vacation. So we're going to thank you in advance by promising that next year will be the best yet in the history of the Lux Radio Theater. And now, before we say goodnight, there's another kind of promise we'd like to make. 3 days ago, on the 4th of July, the President of the United States asked every one of us to dedicate himself anew to the principles of freedom and justice, which are the foundation of this democracy. And so, in company with all those who pledged their hearts and hands on Independence Day, we now pledge the Lux Radio Theater to do everything in our power to defend and protect this American way of life, and to bring that bright day nearer when life, liberty, and happiness can be pursued in peace by all men. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Flakes and Lux Toilet Soap, join me in wishing you a happy summer. And until September 8th, this is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Hedy LaMarr appeared tonight through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Charles Boyer will soon begin work in the Universal picture Appointment for Love. Included in tonight's play were B. Benaderet as Inez, Hans Conrad as Regis, Bruce Payne as Grandpère, Frederick Warlock as Janvier, Leo Cleary as Andre, Jeff Corey as Larby, Lou Merrill as Carlos, Virginia Gordon as Marie, Paul Dubov as Pierrot, Noreen Gamil as Aisha, and Howard McNear as Max. Our music is directed by Louis Silvers, and your announcer has been Melville Ruick. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Stay tuned next for the Cavalcade of America.
The Cavalcade of America, presented by DuPont, maker of better things for better living through chemistry. For years and years, a plague called Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever had ravaged the people living in the Bitterroot Valley of America's great mountain range, the Rockies. To destroy it, a group of American scientists devoted the labor of their lives. We bring you their story in a radio play, The Mystery of the Spotted Death, written by Eric Barno and featuring the Cavalcade Players. The orchestra and the original musical score are under the direction of Don Voorhees. DuPont, maker of better things for better living through chemistry, presents the Cavalcade Players in The Mystery of the Spotted Death as tonight's drama on the Cavalcade of America. In Montana, a century ago, a group of pioneers is searching for a home site. Ahead of them rides an Indian guiding them. As they enter a beautiful valley, the Indian suddenly stops.
William, oh. What's the matter? I will not go on. You said you're going to show us this valley, didn't you, boys? I bring you here. I will not go into valley. Are there enemy Indians? No. The land looks fertile enough. Is there game in those woods yonder? Very good hunting. Anything wrong with the climate or the water? No. And what's the trouble?
Indians will not enter the west slope of this valley in springtime.
Huh?
Evil spirits.
Well, man, if the water's good and the land's good and the hunting's good and the climate's good, I reckon we don't mind a few evil spirits living here. Let's ride on and have a look.
White men riding confidently into the valley of evil spirits, the Bitterroot Valley. You can see where they've settled down there. You can see towns and green fields. You can see hunters in the wooded canyons. But what about those spirits? Look, see that old log ranch house crumbling? Down by the river, see that chimney standing alone? Yonder on the west slope, you make out that cabin with the door half off, flapping in the breeze? A man called Tom Burton lived there with his wife until one day in 1906.
That you, Tom?
Yeah.
Food's on.
Coming?
Sit down neat. Be right with you.
Annie,
Huh?
I got something to say. Sit down.
Can't you say it?
Annie, this valley's been good to us, ain't it? 40 years we lived here. If anything should happen to me, I don't want you should stay here. I want you to take the $35 we saved and go to California and live with our boy.
What? What's wrong? I ain't going to no California. You and me come here together, and you and me's going to go on?
Annie. Look.
No. Tom.
Yeah. Spots come in my ankles this morning. Now on my wrists.
Tom.
You know what that means? I'll be dead in 10 days.
No. No, we'll take the $35 and go into town and get the doctor.
No, Annie, they don't know nothing. What do doctors care about the spotty fever? Folks on the other side of the valley never get it. They do, it passes quickly. Only the poor hill folks this side of the valley that gets it and dies of it. When they get it, they're dead in 10 days. Oh, don't fret, Annie. We've had a good life together.
Hello? Anybody home?
Oh, who is it? Come in.
I hope I'm not intruding.
Howdy.
I'm from Chicago, the University of Chicago. My name is Ricketts. I'm a medical man, and
You do doctoring?
Well, not exactly. I'm a research man.
Huh? Oh.
See, I'm out here for a vacation, and, well, I've been getting interested in Rocky Mountain spotted fever. I understand this is just the season when it crops up. I wonder if you know of any new cases along the hillside this year. If you did, I'd...
Could you cure him?
Well,
If they give you 10 or 20 or $35?
Well, nobody knows anything about the disease yet. See, I want to study it.
How long would it take you to study?
More than 10 days?
Oh, it might take me years.
Oh.
You see, the first thing that I have to do is to find some way of taking the disease back to a laboratory. I want to try injecting some blood from a patient into a guinea pig so I can make laboratory experiments. By the way, what's this on your neck here?
Oh, a wood tick. Lots of them around here in the spring.
Well, you know, it's been suggested that these are what spread spotted fever.
Well, I've been bit by ticks for years, every spring. I never got... What are you looking at?
Your wrists.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I got 10 days, I guess, huh?
Oh, Doctor, ain't there something you can do?
I'm terribly sorry. I know nothing about it yet.
Tom Burton died 10 days later. There's his cabin, rotting. But part of him lived on. Down yonder in the town of Missoula, down the river, in a laboratory, Dr. Ricketts from Chicago injected some of Tom Burton's blood into a guinea pig, and its blood into another guinea pig, and so on. So something of old Burton lived on. The part that harbored evil spirits lived on in generations of guinea pigs.
Ricketts, you're hopeless.
Huh? What do you mean?
Here, it took me months to get you started on a vacation away from your test tubes, and there you are, on vacation, playing nursemaid to cages full of guinea pigs.
Look, tell you what I'm working on. You can help.
Good.
Now, this is a wood tick from a nearby valley where there isn't any spotted fever. I ain't going to let him feed a while on this feverish, dying guinea pig.
Look at that guinea pig.
Yeah. Spotted fever's no picnic. Now, look through the microscope. See the tick digging in a firm foothold with his 8 legs? Well, now he'll start sucking blood.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll keep getting larger. He'd eat for days if we let him. But we'll move him to a healthy guinea pig.
I see. To answer the question, can ticks transmit the fever?
Exactly. And for the answer, we'll watch our fever charts.
First day,
normal.
Second day,
normal.
Third day,
normal.
Fourth day,
104.2.
Fifth day,
106.
Ninth day,
dead.
Diagnosis?
Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Well, we really got something now, haven't we? If this means the ticks are the villains, then that certainly makes it easier, doesn't it?
Easier? Harder, I'm afraid. Much, much harder.
You see those wooded canyons on the west slope, cutting through the Bitterroot Mountains toward Idaho? See the white streams spilling over their banks? There's a paradise for deer and rabbits and squirrels. Ricketts and his friend descended on that paradise to hunt for ticks the size of a match head, to learn the life of the tick.
Well, now you see what we're up against.
Yes.
In the summer, the tick larvae come out of their eggs, climb up these small bushes, and cling to the fur of some passing animal. Any animal.
And start feeding.
Right. And sometimes they inject its bloodstream with spotted fever. Some of these animals pass it on to other ticks, and so on. But for 9 months of the year, men don't get spotted fever, because only full-grown ticks bite men. But the rest of the year, every animal in these woods is helping to keep the disease alive and vicious by playing host to the tick larvae.
Why, that means if you wanted to stamp out the ticks, you'd have to stamp out every species of animal in these canyons.
Yep, you would.
Well, that's hopeless.
Well, even if it weren't, would it answer our problem? Now, the animals in these canyons are found in other parts of the United States. So are ticks. But when people get the disease in other regions, they usually get over it. Yet right here, just in this one place on the west slope of this valley, it's almost always fatal. Why? Ticks don't explain that. The animals they feed on can't explain it. There must be something else. There must be. And I've got to find it.
Ricketts didn't find it. Ricketts died. Working 3 years in that laboratory in Missoula, he found a similarity between Rocky Mountain spotted fever and typhus fever. So he went off to Mexico City to observe typhus fever, and died of it. But like Tom Burton, Ricketts lived on, because other men came to carry on his work there in the valley. In Hamilton, 1912, a scientist from Washington got off the train. He was Dr. McClintock of the U.S. Public Health Service. And soon he had tremendous whirlwind plans underway.
Quiet, please. Quiet, everybody. Go ahead, Dr. McClintock.
During the past week, with your help, we've burned underbrush all over the slopes of this valley. Because of what we've done, many million tick larvae will never reach an animal to feed on. Now that's a good start, but it's only a start. The next thing we're going to do is go after the animals themselves. We're going to hunt squirrels and rabbits by the thousands. We're going to pour carbon bisulfate down the holes of prairie dogs. We're going to do more than just a minute.
Dr. McClintock, what's the matter, sir?
Nothing with the heat in this hall, I guess. Suddenly felt funny.
I think we'd better put off the meeting till tomorrow. Dr. McClintock isn't feeling too well. It's nothing serious. I'm sure he'll be all right tomorrow. Doctor, let me see your wrist.
No.
Let me see.
That's impossible. Impossible.
Doctor, don't you think you'd better get back to Washington as fast as you can? See your wife and children?
Yes, of course. Got to see them right away.
McClintock died. Ricketts, then McClintock. And still other scientists came to unravel the mystery of the Valley of Evil Spirits. In 1922 came a young Virginian, also of the U.S. Public Health Service. You see that little red schoolhouse just outside Hamilton, where the open fields begin? Young Dr. Spencer and his associates found that abandoned, empty of children. So they got permission to use it for ticks and guinea pigs.
You know, the trouble with these ticks is it feeds us slowly. 2 days for a meal.
Well, Dr. Spencer, you have to let nature take its course.
Here's an idea. Suppose instead of putting the tick to feed, we just mash it up and, well, in an infected tick in a mortar.
Yes?
Make a sort of tick emulsion. And inject that with a syringe. Save 2 days on every experiment.
Well, let's try it.
All right. I guess we better give this up. 6 days, no sign of fever.
It won't work for some reason.
Meanwhile, we've wasted 6 days.
Well, we found out. Oh, by the way, Dr. Spencer, some blood from an infected patient came in today. Shall we use that? That's one thing we know never fails.
Fine. Let's use it on these same guinea pigs.
Right.
First day. Normal.
Second day.
Normal.
Third day.
Normal.
Fourth day.
Normal.
Fifth day.
Say, I don't understand this. This guinea pig's immune. You suppose that first dose of macerated tick made him immune? It doesn't make sense, does it?
No. Shall we try it again on some other guinea pigs?
Yeah.
Hello, Dr. Spencer.
Oh, hello, Bill.
Look what I got for you. Just combed a few hundred beautiful fat ticks on the mountain goat.
From one of the areas we know is dangerous?
You bet.
Fine. Go take your shower and get somebody to pick you over for ticks. Never get careless about that.
No, sirree.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, Dr. Spencer.
Must be some infected ticks in this batch. Let's prepare the emulsion, then we'll inject some new guinea pigs.
First day.
Normal.
Second day.
106.2.
Third day.
Dead.
Diagnosis?
Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Say, we're up against something. Before, we got immunity. This time, the most violent case we could hope to find. Was there some difference between those two batches of ticks?
Yes. The first batch was off the bushes. They hadn't had their spring meal yet. This batch had already been feeding.
Feeding off a goat.
And goats are immune.
Well, just the same, do you think that feeding could make the difference? That somehow the virus in the unfed tick is in a dormant state and even has protective power like vaccine? That as soon as that tick feeds once more on warm blood, the dormant virus springs to life, is reactivated, and becomes deadly?
What do you think?
We've got to test this idea with every possible experiment.
A schoolhouse laboratory where scientists were getting closer. Closer than rickets. Closer than McClintock. Experiments went on. Guinea pigs fell sick and died. But do you see that corner drugstore down in Hamilton? An old drugstore with an upstairs used as a hospital. Well, one day Dr. Spencer was up there standing by the bedside of his young lab assistant, Bill Gettinger.
What does it say?
104.3.
Spots all over him.
He can't last long.
Dead.
Poor kid. Poor kid.
We've got to work on a vaccine idea. Works for guinea pigs. Might have saved Bill. Yes? Oh, hello, Chafin. Come in.
Say, Doc, could I have some of that injection, too?
You mean the vaccine we're working on? Oh, that's still experimental.
Oh, but they told me you jabbed some of it in yourself.
Well, that's what I mean. You see, we've proved the vaccine protects guinea pigs, but we're not sure how good it is for humans. We couldn't try it first on other people, so we started on me. I took several injections 6 months ago. Since everything seems all right, we're now going to start injecting laboratory assistants.
Well, of course, I'm only the janitor, but you might call that a laboratory assistant in a manner. Couldn't I have some, too?
Look, that vaccine is made from deadly infected ticks. We've set out to make those ticks protective instead of murderous. But we still don't know how safe our method is or how much protection it gives.
Oh, I don't care about that. I just thought maybe I could help you to prove it. I don't mind taking a chance if it'd help science.
Well, if you put it that way, Chafin, of course we'll count you in.
Most local people didn't have much confidence in that schoolhouse laboratory. They weren't surprised 4 months later when the old schoolhouse janitor fell sick, too, bitten by a tick.
6th day, 103. 7th day, 104.6. 8th day, 105.2. 9th day, normal. 10th day, normal. 11th day, normal. How do you feel, Chafin?
I feel fine. I guess I licked it.
I guess you did.
Licked Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Man, you've made history.
I guess I'm the first man in these parts, first of my age anyway, that ever got over it.
I'm sure of it.
Of course, it was your injection that done it, Dr. Spencer. It was your vaccine. It's you I got to thank.
Let's just say a lot of people had a hand in this. People living and people who died. All working toward just this moment.
the janitor didn't die. And all through this valley, thousands of hillmen have gone about their lives in safety because of an injection of the deadly tick, made friend instead of foe. The men of medicine won a victory. Of course, they're still working down there, working in a new laboratory, improving the vaccine, trying to unravel the mystery. Are you wondering why the fever was so deadly in this one valley? No one knows. One theory is that there are so many kinds of animals in those canyons that the disease gathers strength passing through so many. But nobody knows. The disease is about licked, but there is still that mystery. The mystery of those evil spirits. The mystery of the Bitterroot Valley.
The work of those pioneer investigators of the Public Health Service, living and dead, to overcome the plague of the spotted death is another triumph of American science. At Bethesda, Maryland, $1 million building for medical research has been constructed, which symbolizes the faith and confidence the American people have in the United States Public Health Service. For the conquests of science and intelligence over pain and disease touch all of us with that pride the world takes in the great victories of the human spirit. Cavalcade players, our thanks for their performance of The Mystery of the Spotted Death. For material in tonight's play, the Cavalcade of America expresses its gratitude to Harcourt Brace and Company for permission to base this dramatization on material in their publication, Men Against Death by Paul de Cruyff. And now DuPont brings you news of chemistry at work in our world.
One by one, science has convicted the insect culprits responsible for many diseases. The tick for carrying spotted fever, the flea for carrying bubonic plague, the mosquito for carrying malaria, yellow fever, and dengue. The common housefly, most dangerous criminal of them all, in that it causes an estimated 75,000 deaths in the United States every year for carrying 30 distinct human ailments. While medical men have been studying the criminal methods of our insect enemies, other scientists have been devising police methods to use against them. Most important for home defense, chemistry has given us modern insecticide sprays. Have you ever thought what a real blessing they are? A few puffs of spray in the air and your insect persecutors drop to the floor, where they can be swept up without touching a human hand. The active ingredient of modern insect sprays is pyrethrum extract, obtained from dried pyrethrum flowers. If you happen to drive through Southern California this year, near Fontana, you may see acres of little white daisies with yellow centers. Experimental plantings to find out if it's practical to grow pyrethrum in this country. Foreign supplies of the imported daisies vary in both quantity and quality. So DuPont research chemists 10 years ago set out to find a new insecticide agent. One after another, they made hundreds of chemicals for trial. Hundreds of them because the right one not only had to kill insects, but had to be soluble in spray oils, had to be free of unpleasant odor, had to be stainless, had to be harmless to human beings and animals. Chemists bred millions of houseflies and put them to death in laboratory lethal chambers to test these trial compounds. Chemical after chemical was prepared, coded, tested, and rejected. IN 486, IN 487, on and on they went in the laboratory records, monuments to the eternal persistence of research. IN 928, IN 929, and finally, the answer in IN 930. Out of an unusual acid derived from castor oil and an alcohol from coal, air, and water, chemists made a compound that answered all of the requirements. A curious compound that does not replace the pyrethrum extract, but makes it possible to eliminate 2/3 of it by heightening its efficiency. It still goes by its laboratory nickname. As IN 930, it is sold in combination with pyrethrum extract in a concentrate which enables American fly spray manufacturers to put out efficient, low-cost insecticides of constant quality for your protection. The laboratory is an arsenal of public health, and DuPont chemists count insecticide ingredients a worthy example of their objective, better things for better living through chemistry.
And now the star of next week's program, Agnes Moorehead of the Cavalcade Players.
Long before America won its independence, there was a woman of New England who fought for freedom, religious freedom. That freedom Americans have today, the right to worship God according to the dictates of their consciences. The woman was Anne Hutchinson, and we hope you'll listen to her dramatic story on next week's Cavalcade of America.
On our program next week, the news of chemistry at work in our world will tell how one of chemistry's recent achievements is helping to conserve the food of our nation. On the Cavalcade of America, your announcer is Clayton Collier, sending best wishes from DuPont.
This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
And that's the way it was on July 7th, 1941. My name is Henry Chop, your host, and I will tell you what we are going to listen to tomorrow night, representing July 8th, Tuesday, July 8th, 1941, in just a little bit. If you enjoy the content of this channel, not only subscribe, but please donate to its upkeep. Because of the vintage radio, music, and films that we share, this channel does not qualify for YouTube monetization. Help motivate us to consistently post this wonderful content. We like to think that this channel is more interesting and entertaining than any other World War II channel on YouTube. Help us keep going by donating. In the expanded description section to this video, you will find two links for which to donate. One is for PayPal and the other is for a GoFundMe. If the GoFundMe link is outdated on this video, go to this channel's description or our latest video where you will find an updated link. Any little bit helps. If you love old-time radio, film, and music, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications as to when a new upload will premiere. If you are interested in World War II as much as I am, check out our other channel, the World War II newspaper channel. Expand the description section to this video and you will see a link that will take you there. Now I'd suggest listening to the latest upload to decide if it's your thing. Over there you will hear the Chicago Tribune read to you for between 90 minutes to 2 hours. You will get a much more detailed look about what it was like to actually live through World War II than I can give you just by sharing radio broadcasts. You will not only hear detailed news of the big battles and historical events, you will hear trivial facts about the war. You will hear news from the United States home front from the early stages of U.S. mobilization and war protests to Pearl Harbor and the ramping up of the war machine to the final victories and reconversion. You will hear every facet of American life change forever. Well, tomorrow night is Tuesday, July 2nd, 1941, and we are going to start things off tomorrow night with a morning newscast, NBC's morning newscast, and their World News Roundup. And then following that, we have the entire baseball all-star game, and it's a great baseball game, too. If you are a baseball fan, this is an exciting game. And then we have the Goldbergs, We the People, and A Date with Judy. So some great radio tomorrow night, especially if you like sports. Oh, and we have a news bulletin. We have a long 15-minute news bulletin, too, because something big happened on that date, and I am not going to tell you what it is. So we are just going to have to listen. That'll be airing, that last news bulletin will be airing right after a date with Judy. So you're going to have to just stick around and wait to see what happens. Until then, my name is Henry Chop. I'm your host as we travel through the World War II years. Let's turn off this old tube radio. That's our time machine. Good night. God bless.
This changing world, this changing scene, where is it taking us? What does it mean? As long as we're certain of each other, we know we don't have to be afraid. These changing times we rise above. We have no time for them. We have our love, and love is the only thing that still remains the same through all this changing.